unfortunately spent quite some time in hospital. Do you recall that, Jeff?
Yeah, I remember that. I think Alan was coming out from goal and Brian coming the other way, and they clashed and hit head on. And well, it wasn't a serious incident, but Brian got a blood nose out of it and run into complications and a lot of medical treatment to get him right again.
Yes, it was most unfortunate. They certainly came together with a bang.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we had, as I say, Brian Murray coached in 1962, and then Johnny Foster coached for 2 years with Kevin Forster, his cousin, I think. Is that right?
That's right, yes, that was his cousin. We had got a good team those years too, really good. John done a good job with us, and Kevin. Well, we didn't win a premiership under John, but we still had a good team, didn't we, Jeff?
Yes, we got to the finals there with John, and afterwards we can see what we could have done to perhaps got to the grand final. Balmoral just got away from us in the last quarter, and there was a bit of criticism, but everybody can criticise afterwards what should have been done.
Yeah, that was played at Narrabri, wasn't it? And I think there was only a kick in it at the end.
Yeah, we had a kick right on the siren, I think, and Raji Clark.
And of course, Bill, Squatting Investments, when they had Mordat, they supplied a few rugby players that were converted to Australian rules and did their own little thing.
Perrone hadn't had a football team. Those fellas wouldn't have probably not seen a football, a lot of them.
Secretary of the club for 16 or 17 years, and he was also a fanatical cricket follower. I believe he used to stay up all night when the Australian team was playing in England, listening to the test matches, and not only listening, but he had his own scorebook that he could prove any arguments with.
Yes, he used to be fanatical about the cricket apparently in those times, and I was talking to one football in at the back two on the Saturday there, and he said he called in to see Mr. Steen one day, and he said to Mrs. Steen, it's Friday home, he said, oh yes, he's down at the shed, hammering there, doing some work down the shed, and he would go down and see him. Anyway, Johnny said he went down to the shed and opened the door, and he said here was Friday laying on some bags with a stick, giving the wall a tap occasionally just to make out he was working.
Yes, he used to really get wrapped up in his cricket. And Bill, some of the better players from Perrone over the years.
Well, we'd have to mention Bob Tucker. It's just one of the top players. Woody had a lot of good players. John Crabtree was another terrific footballer, and we had a lot of them. A lot of those young boys at Collinstein, they were all good footballers in those days, and they still hold their own with the football today.
That's right. Tommy Bull was also a very fast, good, classy sort of a centreman.
Yes, and Peter Moraney even was a good winger. We had a lot of good footballers. Otherwise, we would have never got to where we finished up.
Peter Block.
Yeah, Peter Block, Charlie Block, Brian Block. We had some top players, really good.
Bird Boys?
Yeah, the Bird Boys, a whole lot of them, they're really good.
That's right, and of course we were lucky enough to get Alan Martin, who was also a good player here.
Yes, Alan was. He was a top player, Alan, really, and we only had him in later years, but he would have been a great acquisition like in those years when we were vying for a premiership. Very strong player and very fast for his size.
Well, I can remember going to Swan Hill to see a match up there at the end of the season. It was a grand final, I think, up there. And I went into the Swan Hill rooms, and he's a very highly decorated player up there. He's photos all around the wall with Best and Fairest and what have you.
Yes. Don was a good footballer too, I think, but Alan, he played centre-half forward here, and he could break away from packs like a rover, like he grabbed the ball and just shrug his way out.
Yes, I can still picture him. He'd seem to have 3 or 4 players hanging on to him, and he'd just give one big shrug of the shoulders and they'd all fall in a heap on the ground.
Yes, he was a top player, really, Alan.
And Bill, anyone else that springs to mind?
One thing I'd just like to mention about Mr. Steen, we've been talking about him, we missed out. We had a meeting here one night, a committee meeting, and it come to us, someone got knocked over, and they brought up at the meeting that we had to have a public risk policy. And to do that, we had to rent the ground from Mr. Steen. It's only a shilling. Well, he said, give me a shilling, I'll give it back to the club.
Yeah, that's the way they used to operate in those days, isn't it? Yeah. And I can remember one very cold day here, Bill, at 3/4 time they brought the sherry bottle around.
That's right. right, yes. That happened quite a few times, not only to the players, but the supporters had a little nip.
And I can remember that it was going around quite nicely with everyone having a little nip until it got to poor old Jimmy Bull, and then no one else saw it again.
That's right, yeah. Jim put an end to it.
And some of the supporters builders, there was some that got very highly involved in the game.
Oh yes, and you couldn't say anything out of place, otherwise you was in a little bit of trouble.
I can remember Bob Mabry, for one, when he was a trainer, he was watching the game and get very highly involved. Anyway, we're almost out of time, so we might just move into the Goroke now and have a look at the conditions in there. Remains of the old toilet down there near the tree. You can't really, but I mean, that's where it used to be. Ian, welcome, Stan, and life member of Goroke Club, welcome.
Thank you, Richie.
Bill, they tell me that this paddock here on the hill here at Bob Walker's, where Clary Chason's house now, was the one of the first grounds in Goroke.
Yeah, that's one of the early grounds, Rich. It's just at the back of the house blocks where the ground runs, just in a little bit.
All right, it'd be a nice dry ground there.
Beautiful ground. I remember the first I remember that was an aeroplane landing there, and George Biggins went up for a ride, and they looped the loop with him, and George got out and kissed the ground. He said, "Mother Earth, I'll never leave you again."
He was one of the clowns around the area. Have you got any idea of the years that they played here, Stan?
Well, from what I've been told, Richie, the late 1920s. I know they were over at the showgrounds in 1930.
All right. And Bill, can you recall some of the players of that era?
Oh, yes, Charlie Stanton was one, and Murray Austin. They lived down in the town there, quite good little footballers, but it's getting back a bit. There was some Ingrams, Billy and Charlie Ingram.
Yes, right. Stan, would you have any idea of what league and what clubs they'd be playing in at that particular time?
Well, at that time, I think it would be called the Cowrie Football Association. And actually, in those days, the leagues did swap around a lot. And there was a possibility it could have been Central Wimmera West Zone too, because they had Central Wimmera zoned, and the winners of each zone played off for the grand final. Now, I know that happened in 1926, but into the later 20s, I'm just not real sure. So it would any one of those three.
All right. And Bill, can you recall the changing room facilities at this particular location?
They were hessian and a few posts put up. You only had to stop and you could see what was going on outside as well as inside. But there was no glass windows those days.
Should be fairly primitive, Bill.
Yeah, she was fairly rough.
Move across the road now into the showgrounds and have a look around there, around the facilities. And what years did they play in the showgrounds, Stan?
As near as we can find out, Richie, 1930, and they finished there in 1957.
Oh, right. Well, we'll just sneak across the road and check the... And Stan, this would have been where Goroke's played most of its football in the past 50 years.
Yes, Richie, that would be right.
And Bill, no doubt you've spent some time out here on the ground.
1 mile on this ground, yes. It's never got any big money for it either, really.
Any idea how many games you played, Bill?
No, I got no idea. I never kept them. I never had time, really.
No, but you retired as a young fella of about 47, did you?
I was only 43, Rich. I didn't go to 47.
Oh, right. Stan, some of the changing rooms here, could you just take us around some of these? There were various pavilions used, I know.
Yes, well, Richie, the first that I remember was back in the late 1940s when what is the present bar now, the committee used to put hessian around about 6 feet high around the bar, and that was the home team rooms. And over what is now used for the fleeces at the show, that's where that was always the visitors' change rooms. Of course, we must remember that there was no such things as showers. The nearest to a shower you had was a tap fairly close to both buildings. Goroke also used the luncheon shed for a period of time as a home room. I'm not real sure why, whether the arrangements were changed from year to year with the A&P Society or not, I'm not sure. They also used what was the big show pavilion. And apparently back earlier than that, back before the war, there was another couple of smaller sheds here. They were also used as change rooms.
Yeah, right, Stan. I can remember Goroke playing here. It might have been the first game of football I ever saw in my life, I think. And Johnny Korth lost a contact lens in the ladies' pavilion, and they called in all the little kids to crawl around underneath the benches to see if they could find his contact lens. I can't recall whether we did or not, but nevertheless, Johnny still played. Bill, some of the characters of this era, could you mention some of them?
Oh, there used to be some funny things to go on here, Rich. I remember old Martin Hickey here at Carl Block was noted for he was a beautiful footballer and a beautiful kick, Carl was, and Martin come along and he said to Carl, "You're no good as a footballer at all, Carl." And he said, "Why?" And he said, "You kick it too far, you knock them all up chasing it," he said. But he was a wonderful kick, but not as smart as his brother Bond. He was an outstanding footballer.
Right, you mentioned the name Hickey there. Getting a little off football, Bill, was there another story about Hickeys when one of their kin died?
Oh yeah, that was Miss Hickey. She had the misfortune to get burnt to death, and the undertaker come out with 2 horses and a wagonette, and Mick said, "Oh well," he said to Martin, he said, "Bring those eggs out and send them into Mr. McCarty's store. It'll save us a trip to Goroke."
Stan, you'd no doubt remember some of the players of this era, the Steve Allens and the Dick Haybecks, etc.
Yes, Richie, remember them very well. Steve Allen, Reg Packer, Rex Broven, 1947, Cecil Burns, John Smith, Edgar Burns, all very good footballers. Sid Gibbs was another one, Gordon Gibbs. They continued their football right through. Some of them did pull out. Bill Burns here with us. They pulled out through the early 1950s, but most of them played right through till about 55, 56. Some of the younger players, Alan Carter, Ron Johnson, Freddie Lowe, Len Rolfe, he was another one. He started here in the late 1940s, and we talk about good footballers. Well, Len was a good footballer, and his record speaks for itself, I think. He never won a best and fairest in Goroke, but he won, I believe he won 4 at Perrone, and he also won 2 Central Wimmera League best and fairest and was runner-up for it twice. Another very good footballer and a champion bloke to play with too, and also against. Some of the other identities that I can remember around, it takes everybody to run a football club, as we're all aware, and gatekeepers, there was the late Alec Gibbs. He was on the gate for many, many years, and then Bertie Smith, he was on the gate for years. Nowadays, as we're all aware, we seem to have to roster everybody to get somebody to stick at a job. Same with timekeepers. Just here on our left, the Show Society used to leave their hurdles there, and my first recollection of timekeepers was in all weather, was sitting there keeping time with the old bell. They used to sit up on the hurdles, and they didn't have stopwatches either. They used to have 2 watches, and they'd keep the time. Whenever the umpire blew time off, they'd have to write down whatever number of seconds it was it had gone, and then at the end of the quarter, when their 25 minutes was up, they had to add it up and add on whatever time it was. And the late Percy Walker, he was the first timekeeper that I can remember, and he did it for many, many years. And then a little later on, my father, Horace Walter, he was timekeeper for something like, I think, 20-odd years, and that was up here and both down at the recreation ground. Just one thing in passing, Richie, I believe that prior to playing over at the other ground that Bill spoke of earlier and playing here, Goroke also did play football down at the recreation reserve.
Most people would agree that the Burns trio of Sid, yourself and Edgar were amongst the cream of the footballers of Goroke. How good did you rate those other two, Sid? And I won't ask you how good you were, because I mean you might get a bit carried away, but how good were Edgar and Sid?
Edgar, in my opinion, was a real good footballer. Those days when I started playing with Edgar, we never had coaches. We had a captain then, not a coach. But we had to have more understanding between the players what the move was on. And Edgar played centre-half back. I was playing in the centre, and I'd put which hand I wanted Edgar to bring the ball, and I had a couple of yards start on my opponent because I knew where the ball was going to come, which all that sort of thing helped the football. But Sid Burns, no, Sid wasn't Sid Gibbs was an outstanding footballer, But Sid Burns was, you know, I seen him knock the umpire over one day and carried him about a chain. He said, if you're not careful, I'll take your number. He said, Sid had had a few too many beers that morning, I think.
He'd get life for that nowadays, Bill.
At Pimpernaya.
Yeah.
And Sid Gibbs was another one of Groke's, and Gordon, he was good, but Sid was a marvellous footballer, a beautiful kick. He used to run like if his feet were about 3 sizes too big for him, but I think he will be back with us the weekend, and I reckon him and Edgar Burns was real good in their day, like what we had those teams.
All right, thanks, Bill. We've neglected to mention while we're out at the Perrone ground that we had a very good goal kicker. Well, we mentioned his name, Bob Tucker, but we forgot to mention the tally he kicked in one match, Stan, and that was 19. Did you have anything here in Goroke around that time that could match that?
Yeah, well, in 1957, Richie, there was a chap by the name of Dave Austin, was recruited from Kaiby Bolide, came over here with his good mate Snow Hole, and he kicked 19-4 here one day against Naradja. He was also an excellent full forward. He was a marvellous full forward to play out in front of, because all we were told, the rest of the players in the team, was kick the ball 45-degree angle from the goal and Dave will get it. And I think that was pretty true, because he finished up with 96 goals for the season, but in that one day against Naradja he kicked 19-4.
Yeah, that's a tremendous effort. Bill, Peter Robertson, my boss, played in a couple of premierships. I think he was a back pocket. Was he very tough?
Yes, he was an excellent back pocket player, very fast. If he couldn't mark with the chap, he'd earth it and then he'd take it away in front of me with his pace. Peter was one of the best back pocket players Goroke has ever had, and I'll say that without any fear of contradiction.
Yes, well, I thought he must have been pretty tough, because I know he's a very tough boss. Well, we're about to move away now down to the where the football ground is at this present day. Stan, just before you leave here, any idea of when paid coaches were first introduced into the Goroke club?
Well, it is on record, Richie, that in 1926 Goroke had a paid coach. Bollocky Bill Burns was his name. But then, from then on, there was, as Bill referred to before, there was no paid coaches until Jimmy Cartwright in 1953. And he got the wonderful sum of £5 per week. Quite a bit different to what they get today.
He also got Bill Burns' daughter, though, so that must count for something.
Yes, well, I don't know how he worked that out, whether £5 a week plus the daughter or what it was. But Jimmy, of course, was, on today's standards, I'd say he'd be worth a heck of a lot more than £5 a week.
Yeah, righto then, Stan, thanks very much. And to you, Bill, thanks very much. And also Jeff Crabtree. I might mention at this stage that our cameraman is none other than Neville Block, Bonnie Block's son, who Bill has spoken so highly about. And we do thank Neville for this effort he's putting in for us for this down at the present football ground at the Recreation Reserve here in Goroke. And joining me now is the president of or the chairman of representing the building committee, Mr. Ken Batson, our current president, Mr. Jack Wilder, and once again Stan. First of all, Stan, at what time, what year did they first come down here to play?
First year they played here, Richie, was 1958. It took a fair part of the 1957 season to get the ground into a playable condition, and during 1957 Reg Haddon and Bill Livick, who were carpenters here at the time, built the sheds. The stumps were donated by Horace Walter and they were cut at a working bee, and also the fence posts around the ground now, they were donated by Mr. Les Johnson, and they were also cut with working bee. Everything apart from the building of the dressing sheds was done by working bee, and that includes the gravel around the oval. We started just here near where the marquee is, as you can see now, and got around to about the bottom goal with the gravel about a foot deep, and Mr. Joe Sonigo came down on one Sunday morning and he said to the late Reg Packer, he says, what do you want to run around this ground? He said, putting gravel that deep. And Reg says, oh, we wanted to make a good job of it. And he said to me, he says, well, you come up with me and you drive the tractor. He says, we'll spread that gravel nearly right around the ground because there's enough gravel there to carry about 100 tonne. So we were a bit out with our judgment. That gives you a little bit of the insight. Since then, there has been many hundreds or thousands of yards of soil carted onto the oval, with Working Bee, and has brought it up to the ground that everybody in the district's very proud of today.
Yes, right, Stan. Jack, at 58 the building was first built. There's been quite a few extensions and renovations since then, culminating in what will be open tomorrow.
There has, Richie, yeah. That from the original there's been change of shower rooms, and committee room was extended a few years later, and now the new extension, which I think will be quite adequate for what we require, and also for the community.
Yes, right. And to you, Ken, from the building committee's point of view, everything's gone off according to plan. I realise due to be open tomorrow, and the carpenters and the plumbers are still hard at it, but do you think we can be there tomorrow?
We're going to be there tomorrow, Richie. When if you were to put the camera across that way and have a look at the crowd of workers there that are there as well, like besides the builders and the plumbers and the electrician that was here yesterday, I think there must be at least 30 local community people there helping to make sure that it is operational for opening tomorrow. It won't be completed. There are a few little things that have to be done next week, but it will be operational, and we will be able to use the facilities and have a tremendous opening tomorrow.
Right. Well, that's great, Ken. I know there's been tremendous community support for this building. I know myself, I was only invited in when there was hard work to be done. I had to dig all the post holes for the stumps and everything, but nevertheless, someone's got to do it. Stan, some of the coaches through this era while Goroke were on this oval.
Well, Richie, in 1958, Curly Rolfe was coach, and it turned out to be a very big year for the club. Prior to 58, there was Mr. Metters in the Metters Windmill Company in Adelaide donated a cup to the Central Wimmera Football League, and it was to be won 5 times. And Goroke had 4 names on it. And in 1958, we had a fairly good team and just scraped into the final 4. But from there, well, it was unbelievable the way all the boys pulled together under Curly, and we did win the 58 flag. And also, it was the centenary year of football in Australia. And that is the reason why tomorrow some people might wonder why there's a green and gold flag there, but that was the centenary flag that the Goroke Football Club won in 58, and also if they have a look in the building they'll see the Metters Cup. 59 and 60 we had Keith Forbes coaching in 59 and Billy Fox in 60. We did lose a few players from the 58 side, and they did not have the players to work with, but both years we finished up in the 4. Then in 61, 62, 63 were Don Dixon's years. Finished second in 1961. As a matter of fact, we got a horrible hiding by something like 20 goals from Dimboola seconds. 62, the club finished 4th. But then in 1963, with a few of the younger players who'd come on very well, we managed to win another premiership. A very memorable one as far as I'm concerned. It was the first year that Balmoral were in the league, and Balmoral had an extremely good side. They'd given us 3 mighty thrashings in the home and home and in the semi-final, but we came out at Nattymuck and beat them, not by a big margin. I think from memory it was about 3 goals. Then in 64, 65 with Bruce Bartlett coaching, we were runners-up in 64 and premiers in 65. 66 and 67 we didn't go quite so well. We had John Rowan in 66, and we did have 2 or 3 young players leave and go try their hand at Wimmera League, and we also had 2 or 3 of the older players, a couple retire and a couple leave the district. But we battled on, and we only just missed the 4, same as in 67. That was the first year that we had any Perrone players in.
Yeah, that built it up, Stan, didn't it?
Well, it built it up, Richie, but it did take us a little while to blend our sorry, not 66, 67. There was only a few Perrone players came in that year. 68 was the year that Perrone really built us up, and under Johnny McDonald's coaching, we finished up being runners-up again. I thought we were a bit unlucky there.
A great footballer, Johnny. In my opinion, he's the best country footballer I've seen outside Melbourne.
He was a brilliant footballer, Richie, and I know there's none of us who will ever forget playing with John. for the average person, when he had the ball to have a kick, well, you got it 40 to 50 yards away, but with John you could get 70 quite safely, and by the time you ran to it, well, it was an enormous kick.
Perhaps around 15 years, so some of these years would be a little out of your depth, but it's good to have you back here as president of the club, and I think you can be justly proud of what's happened here at the time.
Yes, Richie, I'm very proud to come back. You know, I think we've been team building for 3 or 4 years, and you know, we rely wholly and solely on our local boys at the moment, and I think it's being very successful. We're not winning many games, but the boys are learning how to play the game, and I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Jack. It's great to. We've got plenty of numbers, and everyone's getting a game, which I think if you go back to the Constitution, you'll find that a football club is formed in a community like this to provide football for the young people of the area. And Kenny, you must have played about 500 games for Goroke.
Not that many, Richie, no. I was only an ordinary player.
But I know you used to hold down the centre position there for quite a number of years.
Yeah, I used to get a hiding from Collinstein and out at Perrone when we used to play against Perrone. And
you're talking about good sides now.
Oh, yes. Probably I enjoyed playing the year in 65 when we, under our builder that's building our new faculties here, Bruce Bartlett, we won the premiership, and that was a fantastic game that day. Bruce and Kevin Della were like two bulls. They used to get back and charge at one another, and were really the highlight of football in those days.
Yes, he certainly was a goer, that Brucey Bartlett. I was out of Perrone at the time, obviously, and there was just no give up with Brucey Bartlett, and if anyone else in the side did, well, he was in all sorts of bother. But yeah, okay, well, we might just move inside. Some of the more recent coaches that we haven't touched on, we'll try and catch up with tomorrow, but we'll move inside and see if we can have a word with Brucey Bartlett, who is our actual carpenter building this magnificent new complex. So we'll move inside now and see if we can get inside the club rooms, and just putting the finishing touches on the bar is the carpenter responsible for the building here in Bruce Bartlett. Have you got a minute, Bruce, that we could see you just for a moment? I realise you're busy. It's 4 o'clock on the Friday afternoon before the building's due to be opened. How's the job going, Bruce?
We might get there, Richie, with a bit of luck.
Good. Well, I suppose we shouldn't take up your time too much, but don't go away. Well, you're not getting away that quick. But Bruce was a very successful coach of Goroke. You coached the premiership here in 64? 65, sorry, yeah. And you coached in 64 as well.
64, yeah.
Yeah, right. And do you think that had anything to do with you gaining the contract for this building?
Won't answer that one.
No, well, just a minute. Some of the better players of that premiership year.
Oh, probably Terry Stacey, Stan Wilder, George Eastaugh, Russell Adams, Freddie Lowe, but Ronnie Johnson didn't play the second year.
Oh, right. All the boys?
Mick and Stan, Ian and Jack.
Curly Rolfe in that side, or?
Curly retired. Big Kevin Wilder from Neil Wilder.
Oh, right. I heard a story about Kevin Wilder on a jog. Was it early in the season you went for a run and you couldn't work out how Kevin got back? Well, I heard that he spent the run in the tennis shed.
No, that's not right.
That's not right. You kept it pretty hard. They tell me you're a pretty hard taskmaster.
We took him out the road out here to where you work?
The Pleasant Banks.
Yeah, Pleasant Banks. We took him there, and he was always that far behind. We'd stop, and when he caught up, we'd go away again. Yeah,
right. Well, thanks for the few moments with you, Bruce, and we'll see you tomorrow. And the building is a credit to you, and I certainly hope you enjoy the festivities tomorrow.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, new building. And with me is Wendy Block, who is the president of the Ladies Committee. Wendy has a paintbrush in her hand, so I've taken her away from her job. It's all hands on deck here at the moment. As I said earlier, there's only a few hours daylight left, and everything has to be cleaned up. And to look at the place, you'd wonder how it'll ever happen. But I'm sure by midday tomorrow it'll be great. Wendy, you must be really pleased with these new facilities.
Oh, we're thrilled, Richie, yes.
The no more freezing. Sorry for that interruption, but I don't really know what happened, but I don't think I said anything funny, but Wendy must have found something quite funny. Wendy, if you could just point out a few of the facilities you do have in this kitchen that is completely new.
For a start off, we've got cupboards, which we've never had before. We've got a decent stove, a brand new stove, which is a big asset on the old stove because the oven door wouldn't seal properly on the old one, nor half the gas burners work on the old one. We've got a new hot plate in the centre island there, which will be tremendous.
Well, that's a big improvement on what you had to put up with before. As I said, you poor ladies used to freeze to death down in that other old buildings.
That's exactly right. This is going to be very warm and comfortable.
Okay, thank you very much, Wendy. I'll let you get back to your recent premiership coach in Philip Crabtree. Welcome, Philip.
Thanks, Richie.
Philip, you've had a very long and distinguished career with Goroke, and culminating in your being awarded a life membership. Your Jeff's son, who's also a life member, and your brother Michael, who's also a life member. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right, Richie.
Well, that's a tremendous effort from the whole family. Philip, your career, as I said, spans quite a number of years now. When did you actually start with Goroke?
In 76, and I think Jack Harm was the coach then. Played two or three games that year out of the Colts, and started the year after for a full season.
Yeah, right. And you've had as I said, a long and distinguished career, and there's still plenty of work left in the old legs yet. You're playing pretty well this year.
Oh, I hope there's another 2 or 3 years in the seniors at least, and probably 3 or 4 in the seconds after that.
Obviously, a highlight of your career would have been the premiership in '81.
Oh, for sure. You know, you'd chuck away best and fairest just to play in the premiership again. I would anyway.
Yeah, I think most players would agree. Who were some of the better players of that particular year?
Well, Brian Cassidy was outstanding all year round. Neil Samble, Michael, my brother, Athol Spriggs. To me, the four workhorses were all year. But Copper Cassidy, he dominated the whole year in my book.
Yeah, wait for age. He's a magnificent footballer, isn't he? He'd only be 5 stone 5, I think, and that's ringing wet. And he certainly gave value for money.
Yes, well, you know, every week he actually, when he first came to Goroke, a lot of blokes sort of had to look at him and they sort of canned him a bit for a start. But once he started to get on the field and perform, most weeks he got between 30 and 40 possessions every week and set the whole forward line up to me anyway.
Yeah, right, Phil. You're a very colourful player. I mean, I can recall on many occasions when the crowd have started, the opposition crowd mainly, have started waving to you and yelling out to you, and you've always been very friendly with them. You've always sort of waved back to them, and you know, you're a real crowd pleaser.
Yes, I don't know why. I've always got on pretty well with the crowd, especially Terang and Netherby. They used to love me up there. I don't know why, but used to hang a bit on me. I just thought I'd keep them going some days, get a bit of enjoyment out of it while I'm out there.
Yes, well, it was nice to see you wave back to them, even if it was only with 2 fingers. Well, Phil, you've been working here for the last few days and on and off for the past 6 months, really. It's great to see this building come to completion, or near completion.
Yes, the sooner the better, because as soon as we get it fixed up, we can get a licence here, and well, the more money into the club, next couple of years we might go a long way and get another premiership back in the club, which we're all after, I'd say. Yes,
well, that's right, and no doubt the culmination will be tomorrow when the building's open, and it'll be great to have the building opened in front of a crowd witnessing a winning Goroke combination tomorrow against Natimark.
Yes, for sure, Richie. It's a great credit to the footy club, especially the committee and Jack Wilder and Kenny Batson, etc. Even back in '81, it was a great committee for the club that year, and that's made a big difference to us. And we get a good thing like this going again, committee behind it, will go a long way again, I think.
Right, thanks very much, Phil. It's about time you went back to work, I think. Marquee with the social committee president in Michael Sudolz. You eventually got the tent up, Michael?
Yes, Richie, we had a little bit of trouble earlier on, but things worked out all right and we got it up, yeah.
Yes, I was in here earlier this morning and tempers appeared to be getting a little frayed. Would that be a true statement?
Oh, they were just a trifle, but it's all well now, I think. We got it up.
I think the main problem was the distance away from the fence, but if we can just pan through here, I think you'll find that the tent is the correct distance off the fence to the inch, I believe.
Yes, it took us a great deal of time to actually measure that, Richie, but with several measurements we eventually got it to the right distance. The main trouble was getting prams through. They felt that any closer than the prams wouldn't have been able to get through. But
well, obviously, anyone comes along with a twin pram, they could get it through there without much problem now.
Oh, quite easily, yes. Yeah.
Okay, Michael, congratulations on the job you've done so far, and no doubt most of the work is yet to be done tomorrow.
Yes, it's just hope that the weather's nice and we have a good day, yeah.
That's right, and Michael, I might add, is also the coach of the Goroke second 18, and you're up there, sitting in the 5?
Yes, things are looking pretty good at the moment, and if we can continue with our present form, it'll look pretty rosy, I think, yeah.
1 defeat and a draw, I think, is all we've had so far, and we don't want another defeat tomorrow.
No, everything's got to go right tomorrow for the big day here.
Well, congratulations anyway, Skipper, on what you've done so far this season, and all the best for tomorrow. Yeah, well, here we are down at the home of Mr and Mrs Steve Allen. Steve is a household name around Goroke. He's played countless games of football. Steve, when did you first start playing football?
1926, at Lillimore.
At Lillimore. Yeah. And you shifted to Goroke?
Shifted to Coniver in 1931.
Oh, right, so you had 5 years at Lillimore, and then went to Coniver and played there for...
1939.
For 9 years. Well, the years are adding up. So then, finally, we got to Goroke in 1940.
Yeah. Come to Goroke in 1940.
Yeah, right. And played...
Played back in the Tatiara and won the premiership.
That was in the Tatiara League?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Also won the premiership the first year I went to Coniver in 1931.
Oh, right. So it'd be good to go back with Goroke to beat some of the old club mates back there.
I'll say it was. Yeah. One of the greatest thrills of my life, Richie.
Yeah, right. And you played until what year did you finish at Goroke?
I really finished under Snowhole in 1957, I think it would be, but I did play a few seconds games for about 3 years after, whenever they were short.
Yeah, right. So you only sort of played 31 years of senior football?
Senior football, yeah.
What a... Yeah,
bit light on.
What a tremendous effort. There's no doubt a lot of great players that you could recall from those years.
First year I came here, a fellow by the name of Sue Vaughan was the barman in the hotel. He was probably one of the best footballers I've ever seen in my life. Centre half back, came from Dimboola here. He'd also played league football in South Australia.
Oh, right. And you would have played most of your football on the showgrounds ground?
Yes, those times.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of the footballers that really stand out as far as coaching's concerned, you would have played under some great coaches too, like Rex Proban springs to mind.
Oh yes, well, Rex Proban would be one of the tops.
Yeah.
But there was other good coaches too. We had Don Dix was a good coach. Bruce Part was an extra good coach.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually play under him.
No, right.
But he came in after.
Yeah.
But I played under Don. Did I? No, I didn't. No, I didn't play under Don.
No, Don was in the early 60s, I think. Yeah. Stan, you might have a question.
I remember quite well, you'd remember him too, Fred Ledoux.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be one of the toughest you'd have at training, wouldn't he?
Oh, yes. Good ruckman.
Yeah.
Yes, he evidently went to Geelong and got quite a few league games too after he left here. But he was one of the best ruckmen I ever played under. Like as a rover, I played as a rover a lot.
Mm.
He was a terrific ruckman. Yeah.
He was a school teacher, wasn't he?
A school teacher.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can remember Fred Ledoux playing. I was only a whippersnapper at the time, but and I can also recall you playing. And you and Mick Abick and heaps of others up there on the showgrounds.
Yeah. Probably as a back pocket player, your boss, Peter Robertson, hasn't been bedded.
Well, actually, we were speaking to Billy Burns earlier, and he agrees with you on that. Yeah. So you must be a good judge.
Yeah, great spoiler and very fast.
Yeah. And makeup artists in to make Steve look a bit prettier. His wife Gladys was in here with the comb, and you look $1 million now, Steve. I might just say that Mrs. Allen is also a life member of the Goroke Football Club. I think she might be the only lady life member of the club, and Steve is also a life member. So it's you can see there's been some real contributions to football in Goroke by the Allen family, and we congratulate you for that, Steve. But obviously you enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, every minute of it. Yeah. Wish I could have it over again, Richie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think it should be pointed out too, Richie, that Steve played in every position on the ground bar ruckman, and I don't think he ever actually played.
He plays a ruckman too.
You did play as a ruckman.
If you were a ruckman, I'd play there.
Yeah. Well, that was a mighty effort because for a fellow who's only 5'8".
5'8", 8.5".
Yeah, 5'8 1/2". You didn't even make a Collingwood 6-footer, but I can remember you well playing against fellas 6 feet, 6'2", And you always held your own, particularly as you got a little bit older and went to full back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's something that I'll never ever forget, is to see Steve coming out of the back line, and it was always finished off with a beautiful pass too, and passes nowadays are looked upon as 20 or 30 metres. Well, those days they were 50, 55 metres, and if you couldn't kick that far, well, you never got a game. And one little story I'd like to tell, Richie, it was in 1957, and Snow Hull was coach, and Steve was 50 years of age too. And I don't know whether Snow had a bad night the night before at a ball or what the story was, but he certainly took it out of us on the training track on the Thursday night. And after giving us a real good workout, he said, all right, we'll jog a slow lap, which was one of Snow's favourite pieces of training. You'd always jog a slow lap at the end of training. He said, we'll jog a slow lap and then we'll go in. So away we go, and what made him do it I don't know to this day, but we got around the east side of the showgrounds and Snow says, righto, hold it. And he says, all turn to the centre. So we all face the centre of the ground, and he says, when I say go, he says, I want you to sprint to the other side. So when Snow said go, and away we went, flat out. And I can remember it as well as it was yesterday, Steve. You leaned on the fence up there on the west side of the showgrounds and you said, well, that just about buggered me.
I recall that stand.
And I reckon for a bloke who was 50, that was a pretty good effort.
Yeah, when I think of it since, I don't suppose it was too bad.
No.
Perhaps I could.
I can always remember Steve as a skull snake.
Oh, right, yeah.
Vivid recollections.
Yeah. Perhaps I could point out at this stage that Steve has been donating best and fairest trophies for the Goroke seniors for, I don't know how long, Steve. Have you any idea?
I don't know myself, but as long as I can remember.
No, well, I'm sure the club are very grateful for that contribution, and we thank you for that.
The first one I donated was 1947, and I think I've done it practically every year since, if I haven't done it every year.
You won it, Steve.
The Donald Dixon's the first?
No, Edgar Burns won it, Steve.
Did he win it in 47?
Mm.
Yeah. Yes, he did too.
Yeah. So that'd be 40 years that you've been donating best and fairest trophies to the Goroke club.
Yeah, it would be all that.
47 to 88 sounds. Yeah. I've been lucky enough to win 3 of them, Steve, and I thank you for that. Yeah. Stan, I think you've got a little yarn on the piece of paper there that you might be able to relate.
Yeah, well, this came in the Man in the Corner, Richie, around about 56 or 7, I think it was. It may have even been a bit earlier than that. And it tells of a story of a keen playing member of the Goroke football team who lives in the Kangaroo district. They didn't mention any names, but they sort of gave it away a bit. But it says that he was also keen on the sport of kangaroo hunting. And although the humorous side of his recent experience with the kangaroo can be seen now, he thought at the time that it was very serious.
Does it ring a bell, Steve?
Oh, yes.
And I believe, Richie, it doesn't actually say it here in the article, but I think Steve was told that if a kangaroo stuck your dog up, well, you handed the kangaroo a piece of bark and hit him over the head with a good solid lump of a stick. And Steve tried this, but it didn't work because the kangaroo grabbed Steve. And I know Cliff told me quite a few years later that he'll never ever forget the sight of Steve running for home flat out with 3 parts of a trouser leg flowing out behind, because the article says the roo took the trouser leg off, but I think it left it on.
It went from there down to there, it just broke the skin.
It's something that Steve won't ever forget, and I thought it was good that it did get in the Man in the Corner, but most things did in those days. But it showed perhaps of all the footy training you did over the years helped in that particular instance.
I never went in there again without a free rifle.
Steve, would you have been playing football? Sorry?
It went on to say there that Goroke's dash towards home was faster than anything he ever did from full back on the
That's right. It says when he did wrench himself free, his dash towards home was better than any clearing dash he has turned on from the back line.
I thought that should have been there.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, Steve, were you playing in the days that they used to travel by train to the football?
Not very often. I think in 1947 when we started playing down this way, we travelled what we called the motor train to Pimpernel once. I can remember that. And when I was at Kenai, we travelled down as far as Dimboola in a train. But usually cars.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they must have been the good old days.
Yeah.
Backs of trucks and things like that on odd occasions, I believe.
But when we played in 1940 over in the Tatiara, we travelled in a just ordinary open truck with a few boxes around the outside to sit on and a tarpaulin over the top.
Should be a nippy little trip on the way home, wouldn't it?
Oh, it just has plenty to keep you warm.
I don't know what you mean by that, Steve, but nevertheless. Stan,
Was
it female, Steve, or was it out of a bottle? What kept you warm?
Some was a drink.
Steve, back in your days, I can remember when Goroke shifted from the showgrounds down to the recreation reserve where we are now. That was the first showers we ever had. How did you get on for showers in those days? Because the young people of today, they think that it's very important to have a shower straight after training and straight after the game. They even take along their shampoo and things. That wouldn't have happened in your day, would it?
No, but they used to boil the copper for Sunday morning. We had... we used to have hot baths for Sunday morning.
Yes, I can remember them too. The late Cleve Rolfe was a good man at boiling the copper.
Yes, get that copper going.
Yeah.
But whether we ever had the baths after the game, I don't remember that, but I know we did on the Sunday mornings. That used to be a good morning, that Sunday morning. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Bit of a rub down and a hot bath.
That's right. Plenty of salt and penetrine in the water.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
been some of your happier recollections of those years in football?
Well, out of inter-league matches, that would be one of the best. Another one, I think, after I come to Goroke, was playing against, what's the name of that place? Oh, played it in Horsham there too.
Footscray Waratahs, was it? After the 50 grand final.
I know the bloke was on, a bloke from Morrison, his name was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, testing me.
Yeah, well, don't get too grumpy with it, Steve.
Morrison, I know was his name.
But where
do they hold the King of the Mountain?
Witchproof.
That's who I played against. Witchproof, full back.
Oh, yeah.
Played on this Morrison. I thought, by God, I'll get high today.
Yeah.
He kicked about 118 goals, I think, for the year. I said to Dick Hayback before the match, I wouldn't mind playing somewhere else today, perhaps for a change. But being at the team's a bit light on, I thought I'll have a job at him. So anyhow, I kept him down to 3 goals. Yeah. He got 1 mark that he shouldn't have got. And he says, that's one time in my life I've been lucky. He really only got 2, but he kicked 117, I think, something for this year. And he said to one of our, good at football you are, you'll get beat someday. Well, he said, you see that full forward of ours? He said, he's beat today. Because he's kicked 100 and some odd goals for the year, and your blokes kept him to 2. And he kicked 9 last Saturday in the grand final. So that was a highlight.
Yeah,
that's right.
This inter-league match you mentioned earlier, who was that against?
That was against Glenelg.
Glenelg, right, yeah.
Kicked 23 goals each, I think, wasn't they? Beat us by 6 points.
Oh, hell.
Played on the centre wing.
Yeah.
That's had several write-ups to the Watertown paper since. Even Ernie Horsley gave me a cutting in that only a couple of years ago.
Oh, right.
I got a mention in that, and he said, I thought you'd be interested.
Yeah.
When I was at Harvey Bay, he'd come in from Lancoop. It was another flashback to old players.
Yeah, right.
And he sends the paper up there to me.
Yeah, right.
That's a different writer.
Yeah.
I'll have to call it a day.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's about it. Thank you very much, Steve, for this interview, and we certainly hope you can make it down there tomorrow to enjoy the festivities. Hope it's warm enough for you.
I've been a few days in hospital lately, but I'll be doing the best I can. I think I'll make it.
Yeah, good on you.
And Perrone football clubs back to our reunion, plus all our present players and day-to-day supporters. I welcome everyone back. I'm sure that it's going to be a grand day for this club. It's never happened here before, and probably the way the weather's been the last few days, it might take a while before we have another one. But I'm sure all the work is not wasted, because just looking around a tremendous crowd, it's going to be one hell of a ball. During the day there'll be 2 football matches, one starting at 1:15, the seniors starting at 2:30. At night there will be the band in the marquee, the Inspirations. I believe they're a top band. Inside here, everyone will be invited in after the opening to memorabilia and all the cups and what have you inside. There's videos that will be going all day interviews, such like. There's old movies of years ago. It's just going to be one heck of a day, I can see that, and I'm sure every one of you will enjoy it. The next chap I've got to introduce is Ken Batson, the chairman of the building committee. And just before I hand over to Ken, I'd just like to congratulate him and his committee on the work that they've done just in the last few days alone, let alone all the other that he will explain to you. So I'd just like to say once again, thanks for everyone for coming, and have one big day. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack, Mr. Walker, and other visitors to Goroke footy ground here today, and everybody else. First of all, my job is to just tell a bit about this new building behind us. When you get in there today, you'll see that the old floor at the front of it was the old Perrone football shed floor. The original Perrone building was shifted from Perrone, I think it'd be 10 or 12 years ago, and set up here for an extra room for the club. And it was a handy room. The Apex Club helped shift it here, and it was quite a handy club room area. 12 months ago, about this time 12 months ago, the president of the ladies committee didn't have a dig at me, but for years the ladies have been saying that it was time something was done to help them, because the old cement floor and the old luncheon pavilion down there had been there for years. Most of the back two people here today would remember helping perhaps put it there years ago. Anyway, Wendy said to me, she said, it's about time somebody did something to promote and get a new kitchen for us. And for some reason I said to her, well, if I'm on the committee, I'll try and do my best to get something done with the help of some of the others. I approached a few and come to committee. It got off the ground, and eventually we decided to just renovate the Perrone building and use part of it to make it a little bit bigger and put a kitchen on the end for the ladies. That went all right for a while. Then we decided to extend it a little bit more and include outside of the football club, the Apex Club, the cricket clubs, tennis, netball. They were looking for some change rooms in the shower area. So suddenly it became quite a big project. And as time went on, towards the end of last year, we started raising money and working for it, and a local builder here was unable to start building on it, so we were able to get Bruce Bartlett, who's here today with us, ex-coach of Goroke, took us to a grand final in '65. He got the job of putting the shell up for the building, which we had done just after Christmas. We'd raised a heap of money. We'd raised $20,000, $22,000 by then, which paid for the beginning of the shell part of the building. Since then, the last material become a big problem, and as you'll see when you get in there, that it's not completely complete, but it's close enough to be a very big successful thing today for the ladies. The netballers will have to wait next week for their showers, but they'll be working next week. And the club rooms, we'll hope we can have some enjoyment in there tonight and for a long, long, long time to come. Bruce and Graham Chenoweth then started putting the finishing touches to it 4 weeks ago, and if anybody had seen this building a week and a half ago, they would have said it was impossible to be what it is today. But owing to, I think this week there would have been at least 15 people, community people here during the week, every day of the week, working all day. I know Bruce went home very tired, and so did Graham, the plumber and the electrician. They all put in, and so hopefully it'll be something near what we are looking for this community and this town, and hope everybody will make use of what we've got here. It's not just for the football, it's for the whole community, and we hope that everybody uses it. That's about where we're up to. I think I'll hand over to Bob Walker, who is going to turn the key in the lock and open it, and I'd like to thank Bruce Bartlett particularly, and Graham and everybody else that has helped I've made a lot of phone calls, and every time I made a phone call, somebody came and helped, and it was tremendous. I'd like to thank Bruce for all the time he's put into it, and Graham, and everybody else. And I'll hand over to Bob to open it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Ken sounded a little bit nervous when he gave me that mic, but I don't think he was nervous. He spoke very well. And Mr. Walter, the president of the Goroke Football Club, Mr. Batson, the president of the building committee, old footballers and friends and ladies and gentlemen, certainly a pleasure for me and an honour to have been asked to open this building. A big surprise. I will say that as a local opening a building, but I'm very honoured, and I feel tremendous about that job that's been given to me. It's great to look around and see the old footballers around, see my 1947 team. I wasn't much of a footballer, but to see Mac Hawkins and Edgar Burns, one of our real champions, and Seth Burns there, Ron Edwards, they're just in front of me. And all these wonderful footballers, Len Rolfe in the background, one of our great coaches, and so many footballers and so many people around. It's going to be a heck of a day. I don't know how I'm going to keep sober, but I'll do my best. There's going to be so many people to meet, and there's so many here already, and I'm sure there'll be so many more come during the day. But it is a wonderful effort on Goroke's behalf to do this. I would like to congratulate you, Ken, and your committee, sincerely on behalf of the public of Goroke and District, for this wonderful effort in putting this building up. I think it's about the only thing that's left that hasn't been finished in Goroke. In the last few years, we've built a swimming pool, we've built a kindergarten, and the golf clubs have been built in the clubhouse, and now we've come to this. I think it's a wonderful effort for a small community of this Goroke District to be able to do this. I'm very, very proud to be a member of this district, as I'm sure everybody here is also very, very proud, the ones that live here, to be a member of the Goroke District, and I know that the ones that have come back must think the same or they wouldn't have come back. It's great to see so many people here. It's great to be here, and this is a community building. It's for the netball club, it's for the cricket clubs, it's for the tennis club, it's for the Apex Club, the Lions Club, and for everybody in Goroke to use. What a community effort and what a community building it's going to be. What an advantage to Goroke District, and something that we'll all be proud of. Mr. Batson and ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure now to officially declare the building open. I opened it too. Well, who am I going to have a shout with?
Me. We owe as much again plus. So anybody that feels generous enough today, during the day, put their hands in their pockets and pay a couple of bob off for us. Thanks very much.
Rich.
It's really good to see you back, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific. One of the great coaches of both Perrone and Goroke.
Oh, that's what you say.
I think there's a heap around that will agree with you. Jimmy, one of the greatest thrills I ever got out of my football career was when you saw fit, when you left the district, to give your jumper to me to carry on at Perrone. Do you remember that particular night?
I don't. G'day, Laurie. I don't remember that particular evening, that event taking place, but as long as you carried the name, that was the main thing.
Well, I certainly was very honoured to wear that number 3, and you'll probably be interested to know, Jimmy, that jumper is still in use. My son's using it at Monterey. The old plastic number 3 is torn and ripped and no longer in use, but it's still the same jumper.
Ah, it's very good indeed, and I'm very pleased to hear that the number is still carrying on.
Oh, yes, it's still there, Jim, and after you left the district, you coached Carragulac.
That's right.
In the Hampden League.
It was in the Hampden League. Unfortunately, we never had very many players when I first went there. I had the contract for 2 years, and I waylaid the contract after the first 12 months because they needed extra players, and to gain an extra player, they obtained a chap by the name of Warren Roper from Collingwood.
Oh, right, yeah, I've heard the name, yes.
Took over in my place, to see, and he had 7 players that particular year that I never had, and they managed to make the 4.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And with those players, if I had had the same players, I could have probably made the 4 with them too.
Yes, I remember watching one game down there with you, Jim, and unfortunately you went down that day, but my hell, it didn't stop the celebrations that night. You made a nice old job of me.
Oh, well, never mind, that's how it always goes. It's good to see the after-match feeling, not only by your own team mates, but the opposing team mates, which is quite not enough of it done today.
Well, that's right, Jim. Anyway, we've got another old stalwart here. Thanks, Jim, very much, and we'll see you later.
Right.
Well done. And another old stalwart here in Laurie Breetag. You were an old seconds coach from way back?
Yeah, I was here since 1954 and coached 5 teams into the grand final and won 3. Wasn't me though, it was the players that I had with me as a team. They done a tremendous job, all these young boys, and I will say this, that Goroke has been very, very good to me as far as the public is concerned over the period of years. They give me a wonderful go and a lot of support, and only for them, well, you can't have a football team. You must have the full public support behind you. Also, the money comes into it a lot to run a club, and the way that the Goroke people put in was marvellous. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done, Laurie. And some of those players that you could recall from those years, those premiership years?
Oh, well, there's a lot of them, of the old ones. I suppose there's Ian Idell, there was Stan Walter, Maggie Horsler. Players, I think, that the first year I coached, we won the Premiership Seniors the next year. There's Jack Cooney, you could name them right through. I think there was only 2 players that was in the seniors at that particular stage that never played in my teams. But you don't get the praise for yourself. It's to the whole teams in general, and that's the thing that I always looked at. I said one player can't make a team. It's 18 of them. Goroke now, I think, is coming back again to the stage that the early boys that have had to go away, but the things look a bit brighter to me here. A lot of the younger chaps, they're sort of settling in on the farms and could be back within a certain time. That's just my opinion, but it looks to me as if that is the go.
Yeah, well, that's right, Laurie. One of the bright things about today's team is the fact that they're all local lads. There's no imports, and I think it's tremendous, and it all goes well for the future of the club.
Yeah,
thank you very much, Laurie.
Thank you.
We'll spend the next few minutes moving around trying to interview a few more.
Bruce, that's right, Stan. Pleased to meet you.
Right? Okay, we're on video here.
And young Neville.
Yeah, that's right. And you go right back to
46 there, just when they started after the war, when the boys came back, 45 or 46.
Yeah, well, Ron...
Rex Probans was the school teacher in those days. He started the team off with all the boys as they returned back from the war. First team.
Yeah, good. And Ron, I've got a photograph of you in there back in the late 1930s, so you go back a little further.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when I started, but I was in the 1940 Premiership team at Tatiara. Before that, I'm not too sure what we did. I think my brother George reckoned he saw a photo where we were both in it together.
Yeah, that's right, Ron. Yeah, we've got that photograph. There's about 4 or 5 sets of brothers in that. You and George are both in it. And you also played in the 47 Premiership?
That's right, yes.
And what can you remember about that day?
Not very much. I don't know. Perhaps I was concentrating too much on the job in front of us to remember too much about it.
Well, I can tell you the score. There was only a point the difference, 7-9 to 7-8. Was it a wet day?
I couldn't remember that. Gee.
And Bruce?
I am, you know.
Oh, yeah. And Bruce, did you play in any grand finals?
I can't recall the grand final.
Because I think...
there's one in Horsham.
I think you were in 1950 grand final team.
Yeah, well,
they won the...
Yes, I was in 1950, that's right.
Yeah. Is there any players you can recall there, apart from the Edgars and the Mac Hawkinses?
Oh, well, all the old troopers I see here today, and Mackie Ingram was still in it in those days, and Cess Burns, and Steve Allen, and, all the old troopers. They were still in their prime in 1950.
Yes,
I was a whippersnapper.
There's an article in after the 1940 Premiership where Steve was a veteran at 32, but they didn't know then that he was going to play on till 1957.
That's right. No, well, he was 42. I know when I was playing he was 42 years of age, so I don't know how long he played after that.
Yes, he gave it away at the end of 57 when he was 50.
Yeah, well, there you are. He was a top footballer at 42.
That'd be the period I was over in Kyabram, I think, in the Golden Valley League.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it's
53. Well, who won then? Was it Narraju?
No, 53 Goroke won the premiership under Jim Cartwright. 53 and 54.
53. I think I was back then. I'm not too sure, but
I think you're in a 53 photograph. I'm not sure of that, but
I'll have a look later.
I'm not real sure of me years either, but it might have been 52 and 54, but you were certainly there, Ron. Well, it's certainly very good to have you both back, and I hope you have a very enjoyable day.
And thank you very much for the invitation to be back. It's always a pleasure to come back home to Goroke, and it's always home to me.
Yeah, well, it's certainly home to me, and I appreciate the invitation. I've had my money's worth already, meeting so many different fellas, and I'm going to enjoy a grog in your new clubhouse.
Good, thank you very much to both.
Doing somebody else.
Right, here we are now with a few of the former Perrone greats. We have John Crabtree. Welcome, John.
Good day.
Phil Hart.
Lovely to see everybody.
Charlie Block.
Great to be here.
And Neil Hart.
And it's very good to be here with this wonderful weather.
Yes, that's right. It's better than Meredith.
No,
Anyway, Charlie and Phil aren't husband and wife. Phil belongs to Neil, just to clear that up. And that's right. And Neil, your father-in-law was Friday-Steen, who more or less was the instigator of the Perrone football, or one of them. And they played on his ground, and I believe he also built the first dressing shed at Perrone.
Yes, he built the first dressing shed, and by community working bee, we built a luncheon booth or luncheon pavilion, and that now resides on our place at Meredith. We took it holus bolus when we left the district, and it's lovely to see that some part of the Perrone dressing sheds are still used here in this new building today.
Yes, right. We've got the floor now, Charlie. Your highlights of your career, no doubt, would have been the 2 premierships.
No doubt. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there must have been some great players in those sides.
There was, although I think probably the couple of years earlier, before those premierships,
under Jimmy Cartwright.
Under Jimmy Cartwright was possibly the best sides that ever played football for Perrone.
And John, I can recall your playing days. In fact, I played with you, and you were probably one of the only fullbacks that I ever saw that could leave their men 25 yards away and still get the ball.
Well, I enjoyed fullback, but I enjoyed playing centre too. But one distinction I believe I've got is I played every season Perrone had a football club.
Yes, I believe your brother Jeff also shares that honour.
Jeff and I were the only two that played from start to the finish. And winning the first grand final was the biggest thrill in football I ever had. That was against Miser Lake.
And Phil, no doubt your father must have been a little concerned that he never had any boys to play in those sides.
Well, I don't know what had happened if he'd had boys, but he lived up there from Saturday mornings from about 8 o'clock till everything closed up at night.
He was also a great cricket lover, I believe.
Yes, cricket, sport of any sort he liked, but football and cricket, he really thrived on it.
Okay, well, thanks very much for speaking with us, and I hope you enjoy your day, and we'll see you later.
Me now, Mr. Bill Burns, a real veteran of Goroke. He doesn't want to tell us his age, but we know that he's been around here for a long time, and also Mr. Bill Robinson, who I don't know about played, but in 1924 he was in the Osen-Cadnook team photo. Can you remember anything about that, Bill?
Yes, I do. I got my eye. This part of its eye broken there, and that's why I wasn't in the last 5 or 6 games.
I see. Now, there's some big names in that team. Can you recall some of them?
Oh, yes, I know them all, yes. Yes. Oh, there was Bollocky Bill, our captain and coach. Bill Mansfield, the bloke that's a school teacher around here. Yeah. Les Burns, Bonnie Block, Carl Block, Harry Bull, Norm Bull.
Can you tell us what style of game they played? Because some of those names you've mentioned were very big men. And we're just wondering, was it long kicking, high marking, or how did they play it in those days?
Oh, well, just big solid blokes, yes.
Yeah. And did you ever play against any of them, Bill?
No, I played with Bon Block, and I don't think I played with Bill here, but I can remember it. I was only a poodle running around barracking then.
That's 24.
And that was 1924, yes. And do you remember whether they played over in Walker's Paddock then, or on the showgrounds?
Well, I can remember playing over here, but I think it was showground. I played over in Walker's then, that's what...
Yeah, you don't realise what...
Somebody reckoned 1920.
Yes, well, we have a paper cutting of a 1920 paper where they played in C. Walker's paddock.
Yes, that's just across here, just across the road here.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I can't remember who was playing then. I remember one big tall bloke was young Perry, Stan Perry, I think his name, used to live out the back of Moorcat. He was a big long bloke.
Lindsay Perry.
Hey?
Lindsay.
Lindsay, that's right, Lindsay Perry.
Yes, we have a photo of him in a 22 Goroke team.
Have you?
Yeah. Yes, you can have a look at that one later on. There'll be a few names there. There is one name in that team we don't know, so you may be able to help us out.
Oh, I'd be a bit doubtful. I can tell you all the Ocean Catholic team if you want to know them. I know all them.
Yes, well, I think you might have been the one that they got the names from. We've got them named.
Have you? Yeah, it might have been too, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's certainly very good that you can come up and have a real good day.
Good. Thank you very much for the invitation anyway.
Yeah, good. Okay, and same to you, Bill. You've had a little bit of a go at this, and we might catch up with you later.
Yeah.
And bring your wife in with you.
Local, aren't you?
Yeah, you're local.
Do you remember the days?
Wongers everywhere.
Remember the days, that's right. Richie will work with you, right?
Okay, with me at the moment we have Mr. and Mrs. Gil Sanders. Welcome.
Hello there, how's everybody?
Thank you very much.
And, of course, Mr. Alan Bull. Welcome, Alan.
Thank you, Richie.
Gil, you played with Perrone in what years?
I started in, 55, and I gave it away in 58. I went down to Casterton.
Oh, right. And you were working around the area at the time? Or?
Share dairying with Possum Block.
Oh, right, yeah. And I see you still got the old the Perrone blazer on.
Yeah, we've hung on to that. Very proud of that one.
It was a great club in those days.
Right, it was. One of the best.
And Alan, your father, of course, was the first president of the Perrone Football Club.
I think that's probably right, Richie, yes.
Yes, our records show that is the case. And do you recall any of those days when your father was trying to get the club off the ground?
No, I think I was away at school in those days.
Oh, right, he got you out of the way so he could put his mind to it, yeah. And Mrs. Sanders, do you recall those days?
Not when they formed, I wouldn't.
No, sorry, I didn't mean...
I just remember carding kids and helping with your afternoon teas.
Oh, right.
That's my share, I think.
Well, that's a big share too, because without the ladies around a club, you're in big trouble. And Gil, no doubt you would have played with some good players in those days. Would they be the years of Jimmy Cartwright?
Jimmy Cartwright. We first started off with Herb. My first year was with Herb Dumacy. Then
they tell me he trained you pretty hard.
Oh yeah, he gave us the works. And Jimmy Cartwright, he was a terrific coach. And then Curly Rolfe.
Yeah, right. Well, you've certainly mentioned some great footballers in those three. And Alan, I suppose the social life at the Perrone Club would have been one of the best of any club in Victoria.
It was a highlight, Richie. It was a fantastic club spirit there.
I remember in around those years there was pie nights every training night.
And training night, Tuesday and Thursday night.
And Sid Crick used to put on the soup, and Lord only knows what went into it, but
Bonnie Block make the soup, yeah.
And Carl Block, of course, you'd remember Carl with these fish nights. Did he have the fish nights in those days?
I'm not sure, no, I don't think, not when I was there.
Yes. No, in later years he used to go...
That was a bit later when he used to go to the Coorong and catch the fish.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks very much for speaking with us, and I hope you enjoy your day. Well, here we are again speaking to some more Perrone identities, and of course Jeff Crabtree you all met yesterday, Athol Daffy, Mr. and Mrs. Lou Waite, and Johnny Corth, who played both for Goroke and Perrone. Athol, first, how many years did you officially play at Perrone?
From 53 to 61.
53 to 61, and then you married the first president's daughter, I believe.
That's right, I did too, yeah.
And still happily married, I hope?
Yes, I'm still happily married.
And Mr. and Mrs. Waite, well, first of all, Lou, if you don't mind me calling you Lou, you would have to be one of the most one-eyed Perrone supporters in history.
Well, I think I'd have to agree with you now that I'm thinking back over the period, but I still got a lot of happy memories of Perrone.
Yes, they were a great club. And Mrs. Waite, did he ever embarrass you in any way at the football?
Well, yes, I'd say he did. He's never barracked for Eden Hope. Oh, no, he won't look their way. It must be Perrone or nothing.
Well, that's good thinking, good thinking. And Johnny, your days at Perrone, did you only spend the one season out there?
I had 2 or 3 out there, and they were very good years too. Very good years, a lot of fun.
We were talking about your days at Goroke there yesterday, and I can recall as a little kid being asked to get down on my hands and knees and try and find one of your contact lenses that had fallen out.
But I've had a lot of mates. You were only one. I've had 3 or 4 out from here to Dimboola.
You've lost them in every club room in the league?
Yeah, yes, and on the ground. Waste of time and money they were.
And Jeff, you obviously would have played with both these players. What were they like?
Oh, Johnny was a good, tough back pocket player. He used to be a bit handicapped till he got his contact lenses. He'd be watching the blokes in front of him to see which way they're running, and then all of a sudden he'd catch sight of the ball, and he didn't miss it very often. Then we've got Athel here. He was a good winger in his time.
You'd nearly have your brother-in-law on the other wing, Athel, wouldn't you, in Peter Perrone?
Yes, that was right. Yes, Peter played in the 2 premiership sides on the opposite wing to me.
I've just been asked to ask you whether you can remember getting your teeth knocked out by Don Farnham.
Yes, I sure can. Yeah, I sure can.
And it still hurts?
Yeah, still hurts. Still hurts.
It'd be too big to do anything about, though, wouldn't it? Okay, well, thanks very much for talking with us, and we hope you enjoy your day.
The 1958 team, this was a fairly memorable sort of a year, 1958, because we won the coveted Meadows Cup. And here on my left is Len, or commonly known as Curly Rolfe. Curly, what do you remember about that year?
Well, I remember that we were out of the 4 really when we played the last game at Dimboola, I think it was, and we beat Dimboola on that day and got back into the 4 by a few points percentage, and we went on to win the first semi-final, the preliminary final, and luckily the grand final.
Okay, Mac Heuser is next in line. Mac was rover mainly in those days, and what would you like to say about the 58 team, Mac?
Oh, one thing I can remember clearly, I was about 16 years old, and Rolfie was walking around giving us a pep talk before we went out on the ground, and Rolfie said Neville Smith was sitting alongside me. He was about 16 too, and he said, "Are you nervous?" "Oh no, we're not nervous, and our knees were fairly knocking." He said, "Well, you bloody well ought to be."
And a centre man in those days, and not only in 58 but for many, many years, Ron Johnson. You'd like to have a few words on that 58 year?
I can remember Curly kicking a goal from nearly the centre in the last quarter.
A real team lifter.
A real team lifter, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, I think the scores, there was only about 3 goals or perhaps a little less in it, so it would be a real team lifter then.
It was, that's right, yeah.
And do you remember, were you at centre that day, or were you still on the wing then?
I was centre that day, yeah.
You were centre, very good. And incidentally, for the younger people, Ron was an extra good drop kick and a heck of a good high mark, and it had to be a fairly wet ball before he decided to kick punts. Henry Mitchell, he's next. Henry, you were half-back flank?
Yeah, that's right, Stan.
Yeah. And do you remember who your opponent was?
Oh, it's 30 years ago, Stan, and I had a bit of a job to remember that far back.
That's right, but it wouldn't be Bags Barry, would it, or was he a little later than that?
I think he might have been a bit later than that, but it was a memorable occasion, and I was only reminiscing this morning, 30 years ago. It's a long time, but it was a great win, and I'll never forget it. One of the highlights of my career.
Yeah, very good. And Robbie, can you remember what position you were that year?
Half-back flank, I think.
You were on one side and Henry was on the other, and Fred, who I couldn't find a few minutes ago, would have been centre half-back.
That's right. No, not really, no.
He'd be a fairly smart mover, though, because Dimboola seconds in those days were a good side, and they also had a good side. It was the year after they won the premiership in Wimmera League, and they would have had a lot of good players.
Yes, I remember the next year when they brought all their senior players back to play us against, I think it was Snow Hole, their coach that year.
The next year, yeah, that would have been Keith Forbes, but I remember the year. Yes, they put us out in the first semi.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, okay then. Curly, can you remember what position you played that particular day, or did you have a number?
Ruck, I played ruck. Ruck and forward pocket.
You remember how many goals you got?
No, I wouldn't have any idea. No, I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, would you have any idea what an average drop kick in the days when you kicked them would have travelled?
Oh, I ran about 60 yards.
That's what I thought, because tell a lot of young fellas that nowadays and they just don't believe you.
Oh, well, they want to learn how to kick a drop kick.
And do you think the footwear nowadays has got anything to do with kicking a ball?
I don't know about kicking a ball, but I think it's got a lot to do with injuries. It doesn't save the ankles whatsoever, I don't think, and that's why they've got so many hamstrings and sprained ankles and everything in it. You don't hear about them much when hamstrings when they wore the high boot. But now these slippers they got today, well, I think that's about time they give them away and went back to the high boot.
Okay then, well look, thank you very much one and all for your comments, and have a good day.
Wait a minute.
All right.
I think there was another member of this 1958 side too, Stan Walder. What do you remember about it, Stan?
Well, I can remember that I was on a little solid bloke called Stan Baker, who I came across a couple of years ago, and of one man, and not that I was much of a footballer, but of one man that I could never ever do any good against was Stan Baker. And I remember rucking most of the day with you and Big Kev playing at full forward, because Big Kev could really handle Stan Baker, and there was a few of us that couldn't. But that was, I think, what stuck in my memory, and also the tremendous team effort, like most premierships are.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, well, we'll move on, and thank you very much again.
Running out with Greg Clark wearing the Perrone jumper. And with me at the moment we have Don and Heather Dixon. Don, a premiership coach in what year, Don?
63, Richie.
1963. That would have been a memorable year for you.
Oh, it really was. That's one of the most exciting matches I've ever played in, really, that I'll always remember. Yeah, it really was.
And Heather, you no doubt were very highly involved in those days.
Oh yes, but I was just saying to one of the young boys before he came up and called me Auntie Heather, and they said, "Oh, you were good to all us kids, Heather." I said, "Well, I was much better than the kid myself. I was only 20, 21, 22 when Don coached."
Yeah, right. And you wouldn't have seen much of Don in on training nights.
Oh well, sometimes I couldn't drive in those days.
Too much. You
around.
Right, and Don, I can recall when playing Goroke one day that you managed to give Barry Crick a bit of a hit behind the ear, and Sid Crick was here with his booming voice. He called out, "You bloody mongrel, Dixon." I was just wondering whether you recall that incident.
Well, I was just talking to Barry about that a couple of years ago. I said I nearly lost my head, but Barry and I are good mates, so we've forgotten all about that.
Yeah, well, you're probably one of the lucky ones, because I believe in earlier years that Sid Crick himself was chased with a lump of 4B2 by the father of another chap that got hit. So you're probably one of the lucky ones.
Yes, well, I could be too. If I had connected, I might have lost my head too.
I'm sure you're not a mongrel anyway.
Richie, the man, a real nature's gentleman of Goroke, who is Gordon Walter, and the gentleman up here told me that they never heard him swear in his life until Dole got hit right down here and got knocked unconscious by that one-armed fella, Dickinson.
Royce Dixon.
Yeah, and Dole made a speech at half-time. Can't remember what he said, but the fellas at Goroke said that's the first time they ever heard Gordon Walter swear in his life.
Yes, right. Well, it must have been bad, and I can quite imagine that Royce Dixon doing it, because he hammered me a couple of times too.
No cousin, Richie.
He's CKSON, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
But Don, you played a season or two at Collingwood as well.
Oh, I played down there for 3 years, Richie, which was a good experience, really.
That was before you coached Goroke?
Yeah, 58, 59, 60.
And then to keep it in the family, a few years after you left, your brother Keith took over.
Yeah, that's right. Keith was in the disputed premiership.
Yes, that's right, where you had to have a replay against Geraint Kayota at Wombaleno.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, okay, well, thanks very much for talking with us, and you certainly aren't a mongrel. Right, here we have Norm Aldridge, one of the longest serving secretaries of the Goroke Football Club. How long did you actually serve, Norm?
9 years as secretary, 2 years as treasurer, 1 year as selector, and 18 years as around the club.
Yes, and also... That's right, and you also were a player when you first came here, Norm.
Oh shit, you're of note too.
And were small of stature but very fleet of foot.
Oh yeah, something like that. So
but unfortunately something's gone wrong now, Norm.
Yeah, I grew out instead of up.
Yeah, Norm, one of your great attributes as with the Goroke Football Club has been as umpire advisor.
That's correct. I got that, I don't know why I won that tag, but...
I think it's quite obvious.
Live with me. I'm looking at this bloke now, see if I can offer me advice in a minute.
Yeah, one thing you should learn when you're watching football, Norm, is that the 36 players on the field that you are allowed to look at. You can forget that man in white.
I can only see 18. That's the side that's my side, not anyone else's.
Yeah, and the umpire, of course.
Oh, yeah, well, he stands out all in white. Yeah.
One question, Norm. Have you ever seen a good umpire?
Few and far between. I'm looking for that one. When I see him, I'll tell you.
You're catching a fish at Rushworth or Rutherglen?
Rushworth.
Rushworth.
Yeah, carp.
Carp. Well, that's not much value.
Won't be for much longer, though.
Yes, you're moving on?
Yeah, moving on to better, deeper waters, probably. Better waters.
Okay, Norm, well, thanks very much. It's been great to see you again.
And always come down to the Vic Hotel in Port Fairy. That's where I'll be in a month's time.
Oh, you're heading in the public?
Yeah, giving away the post. I was going into the pub trade.
Oh, right. You'll be able to start sooner than 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, I have with me now a group of young men. Peter Block, who is very involved with the Goroke Football Club now, who is an ex-Perrone, well, we'd say star, because Peter told me only a few weeks ago that he was too young to play the first year. Not only too young, but too small to play. But Peter, welcome.
Thanks, Dan. It's great to be back. It's a great day, and we'll enjoy with the Martys and the Brookies, and there we'll kick a few goals today for sure.
Okay, and also our 1968 Best and Fairest winner, Loxley.
Thank you, Stan. It's a wonderful thing to be here with such a lot of old friends, and we got into action straight away talking to old Bushy Martin. I won't repeat one of the first stories he told, but it was very exciting and we all had a good laugh. Thank you, Stan.
And also Mac's already been on, but welcome again, Mac.
Thanks, Dan. I just standing alongside a bloke here known as Bushy Martin. I can always remember his favourite cry, "Eat him alive!"
And on the subject of Bushy, welcome back, Bushy. You were secretary in 1958, I can remember. Do you remember how many years you were secretary?
About 5 years, Stan. Nice to be back in the wonderful world of sport, the wide world of sport. But about 5 years and a couple of years president, I think, and I had to leave town. Boys, it got me into too much trouble in Blocky and Brooksy.
Well, it's certainly great to have you back, and a very, I'll say old supporter, a very staunch supporter. I can remember one grand final, I just forget which one it was, that he threw his wool shed open and we had one heck of a time up there. Ivan Batson.
Thanks, Dan. I remember that night too. I couldn't get rid of the blokes till 4 o'clock in the morning. There was one particular chap, and he still lives in the town, and he was trying to stand on his head in grass a foot high at 3 o'clock in the morning. It didn't go too good, and it's good to still be here.
Very good. And Ian Walter, what year did you play, Ian? I remember you missed out through injury one premiership year. Do you remember which one it was?
That would have been 1964. Toby Decker, and I hope Toby's not here today, is he? But he knocked me head over heels trying to hit Billy Robinson down at Naraja. So instead of hitting Billy Robinson, he hit me, and I spent the rest of the finals on the bench.
We mustn't get confused with Billy Robinson, who we had on video a while ago either, because he was the seconds coach of Horsham then. And no, Toby isn't here, unfortunately. He's caravanning around Queensland, but he sends his best wishes. Bushy, you said you were president for a couple of years. You remember what two they were?
Oh, I think about 1962, 63, I think.
They were successful years?
These days.
They were successful years then, because we won the premiership in 63.
Yeah, they were running good years, I think, about that time. There was Snow Hole, Bruce Bartlett, Curly Roth. They were three of the coaches I can remember.
You remember Donald Dixon?
Yeah, Donald Dixon, of course. He's about here somewhere too, I think.
That's right, just watch it. He almost had you. One who isn't back though, and you gave a tremendous nickname to, is Big Kev. We all knew him as Big Kev, but you had another name for him. Do you remember it?
No, I can't offhand. I don't want to.
No, you can remember it all right. It was one name, or you were one barracker that I'll never forget. We weren't supposed to listen to the barrack, but you couldn't help but hear it when Big Kev took this mark. It was always Bushy's voice with Man Mountain.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Hey, what about George Eastor? Is he back? Or?
No, George isn't back, unfortunately. We tried to track him down and we couldn't. The best we could do was a photograph of him getting away from Ticadella.
You remember the time he upended Kevin Della in that grand final?
George Eastor, yes. We'll never forget it, Bushy, because that was another premiership year, 65.
Yeah, that'd be 65, was it? Yeah, they were good years, weren't they?
Really good years, and I think too, you've probably been told this, and Mac and Loxley will bear me out here. I think by the look of the team now, with all the young fellas staying on the farms and staying about the place, I think Goroke's in for a few good years now. Would you agree with that, Mac?
Yes, I think we're very fortunate that way, Stan, that our team are all local boys, and if we can hold them around the district, which most of them will stay here, at least we're not forking out $20,000 to put a football team on the ground each year. I think we've got as much future as anybody.
You'd go along with that, Loxley?
I certainly would, Stan. I think the future augurs well for Goroke, as you can see by the support here today. Something else I'd like to add, Stan, that Goroke footballers have been pretty unique over the years. Comes to mind my old friend standing next to me here, Malcolm Hoyser. We went on a trip, as most football teams do, and Malcolm always prided himself on being a cricketer. Well, we were camped at the John Batman Motor Inn one night, and things were getting pretty lively, and Mac always thought he was a Tyson of some note, and he let fly from the corridor in with this orange, and it just happened to go through one of the plate glass windows at the John Batman. But unfortunately, we were never asked back again. I don't really know why. But anyway, Mac proved his versatility. Anyway, thanks, Stan.
Probably asked
good luck.
Probably asked in and asked out again.
Yeah, probably. Bushy, you haven't changed. I remember one of the first pie nights that we had somebody said, can anybody give us an item? And Bushy said, well, I can give you the Dog Serenade by Offenbach.
And do you remember Ralph By's Cinderella?
No, but perhaps you could tell us a little bit about it.
I'd never tell that one. There was a bit of a play on one night that Alf By organised that's called Cinderella. You remember that? Not the Cinderella we learned at Sunday school, not by any means.
I always remember Graham Martin used to tell a yarn about Farquhar, and I think that was fairly good too.
I guess that.
What about the one of the Chinese band with Arse Up?
Well, it looks as though Graham was not only a darn good president, a really good secretary with the club and a very handy seconds player, but he was also very good for entertainment.
Then he got a kick one day.
Well, thank you very much to all of you. That's Neville Block. Oh, Neville Block. Yes, he's just one of the blocks from Osenkednock. I've got with me now our coach of 1949-50, and he played back before the Second World War too, Sid Gibbs. Welcome, Sid.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks.
And also Cess Burns, who played back in the, well, through the 30s. I'm not sure how early in the 30s, and he was a member of our 47 premiership side with Sid too. Welcome, Cess.
Thank you very much, Dan. Welcome to be here. I was glad to be here to represent Goroke on those occasions.
Okay, Sid, you played a heck of a lot of games of football. You haven't got any idea how many you played for Goroke?
I wouldn't have a clue, Stan. Wouldn't have one clue.
You're like most of us in those days, and well, no, I don't go back as far as you do, but we never worried about keeping how many we played.
I would have liked to play a lot more.
Yes, I think you'd go along with that too, Seth.
Yes. Yeah, I remember playing in Tatiara, and that I played all one season in Tatiara, never missed a game. And then I played in 1947 and never missed a game in 1947.
And your career finished a little early though, didn't it, with injury?
1948 got my knee broken, and I gave football away then until I come back in 1951, and I coached the second to a premiership side, but we didn't fulfil that on a protest. We didn't get that.
Oh well, that was a bit of bad luck. Sid, you coached, as we said, for 2 years. Can you remember what success you had in those 2 years?
Well, I think we were runner-up once, and we didn't do too well the next time. I think the first year I coached, we went through to the championship. I think it was about 21 games straight that we went through, but unfortunately we lost the premiership the next year.
That would have been 49, and in 1950 you also coached in 50, and I think that might have been the year you went through. We've got a photograph in there of that team.
That's probably so.
Yeah, you also played under Edgar Burns. What sort of a player did you consider him to be?
Edgar Burns was one of the nicest players or the best players that I ever played with. When you get those nice low drop kicks coming into your stomach, you really feel them, you know.
You realise that the word drop kick isn't used, or the word isn't used and the kick isn't used very much nowadays. Do you think you'd have any reason why that'd be?
I don't know the reason why, but I think that's spoiled our game of football myself.
And what do you think about that, Cess? Because I can remember you were a pretty good kick.
I'll go along with Sid on that occasion, because a good fast stab kick gets to the far faster than an ordinary punt kick or drop punt. And I think it looks spectacular, a good fast stab kick to a person, and it carries right through and gets rid of the ball much quicker.
Yeah, Sid, you played in, I think it was 4 premierships after the war, which would be a pretty good effort, because most of you returned servicemen, you probably missed out on the best years of your football during the war. What sort of a thrill was that to play in those 4?
Oh, well, it was a good thrill. I think going back a few years, if somebody's got the photo I have, where I played a grand final in Pimpernaya against Natamuck, and we lost by 4 points.
Yeah, I don't think the photo's in there, but there is paper cuttings about it.
I have the photo at home, so that's proof.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, thank you both. Thank you for coming back, and Cess, thank you for the information that you've given us over the last few weeks, and have one heck of a good day. Thanks.
Thank you, Stan.
Good to be back.
Good, thank you.
We right? Okay, with me here we have Keith Dixon, coach of 69-70 or thereabouts.
Yeah, 69-70.
And full-back in those years, Brian Gunn.
Lou Rich. Yeah, Brian Gunn, that's right.
And Brian, we're not supposed to be advertising on this program, but nevertheless. So we'll and also just joining us now we have Neil Hiscock. Welcome, Neil.
G'day, Richie.
Hancock's half hour it is. First of all, Keith, you enjoyed your years coaching here, no doubt, but a little bit disappointing to miss out on that premiership.
Yeah, most disappointing. The first year to win a protest, and we had to replay. But at that time, I wanted to do that. But if it was now, I would have taken the game, because we actually won that game because they played a player that shouldn't have played.
Yeah, an ineligible player. And Brian, you played all that year at fullback?
I think I did, yeah. I can't really remember. That's a long time ago,
That's
Richie.
right. And you were a bit of a turncoat because prior to that you played for Balmoral.
That's right. Yeah, you didn't want me here, so I went down there for more money.
Right. And Neil, an ex-Perrone player that came into Goroke, you enjoyed your time at both clubs, obviously.
Yes, had a tremendous time out at Perrone. I think I played about 149 senior games at Perrone. That's not counting the seconds, and came into Goroke and thoroughly enjoyed playing in here. Two good clubs.
Right, and Keith, you and I were very close. With you as a coach and me as a player, we were very close. So close, in fact, that on one particular football trip, we slept in the same double bed at Aldinga, and it just happened that Keith seemed to be passing wind all night, and he seemed to blame me, and I was blaming him, and there was there was an odour in the room there for some time, wasn't it?
No, that's not true. I've never slept with a bloke in my life. I could change it. I especially wouldn't sleep with you.
Were you on that trip, Neil?
No, nothing.
It was to Aldinga, to Mick McPhee's holiday flats.
No, nothing about it.
Do you remember that, Brian?
Yeah, very good trip, yeah.
It was a very good trip. I think you took your bugle along.
Yes, we took the trumpet, yeah.
Have you still got the bugle?
I have.
And that was the same trip that Robbie Stacey tried to make a quick getaway off the ferry at Wellington, if you recall.
I just don't remember.
He fell flat on his face, took all the skin off his face.
Yes, that's right. He came home to his lovely wife.
Yes, we delivered him home with scars all over his face, and hence he got the name Scarface.
I forgot about that.
Anyway, it's starting to rain, and it's been nice talking to you fellows, and hope you enjoy your day.
Thanks very much. Pleasure to be here.
Okay, I have with me now a number of members of the 1959 Perrone Premiership team. First of all, John Crabtree. Welcome, John.
Thank you very much. I've been on video once. Put it on to the next one.
Righto, we'll move around, and a very fleet-footed and very quick, used both feet, marked well. I'm pretty sure he was a rover, what I remember of him. Johnny Meaghan. Welcome back, Johnny.
Thanks very much, Stan. I'm glad to be back, and I hope everything goes well for the day. It's great to get back and see some old players and friends and new opposition blokes at Goroke. We used to have a few blues and that years ago, but anyway, Perrone won out on top in the finish. Thanks.
That's right, and a coach that of Perrone in 59 and 60, and well, both players who played with you, Jerry, and opposition, and treated you the same. A real gentleman, a real champion footballer. Welcome back.
Thanks, Dan. I'm glad to be here, and as all the players, we've got grouped around. I've only just hit the place for 10 minutes, and I've met half the team. I'm sure that I'm going to have a great day. I congratulate the Goroke and Perrone clubs for the tremendous facilities they've opened today, and to everyone, friends and foe, I hope everyone has an enjoyable day. Thanks very much, Dan.
Good, thanks, Jerry. And centre winger, we'll see a bit more of him tonight on a bit of film. Athol Dappy. Welcome back, Athol.
Pleased to be back. I like to come back and see all these fellas. I haven't seen some of them for 20 years. It's very pleasing to come back and see them 59 and 60 team.
Okay, and another one who played, I think, ruck and back pocket, I'm not sure, but I remember running into him one day, Alan Bull. Welcome, Alan.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, it's a bit of half-forward flank too, and it's good to see a few old faces around. Thank you.
And another bloke who played on a centre wing and on a half-back flank, and finished up playing a lot for Goroke and running the boundary for Goroke as well after he'd retired. Welcome, Neil.
Thanks, Dan. Yes, it's great to be back and see the old players. I haven't seen them for a long time, some of them, and especially Jerry and Athol and some of these fellas. It's great to be back.
And a man who his name will live on for a long, long time in this area, real stalwart at Perrone Club and now with Goroke. Produced two fine boys who have both played well, one has played over 200 games. I think both of them have played over 200 for Goroke. Jeff played well over 200 himself. Jeff and John both. The only two Perrone players, I believe, that played every year that Perrone had a team. That right, Jeff?
Yes, Dan. We only played a couple of games the first season, but we played every year that Perrone were in operation. And I don't know, we've had a lot of enjoyment out of football over the years and hope to get a lot of enjoyment out of today.
Very good. Back to Jerry. Jerry, is there anything that really stands out in your mind, your years at Perrone?
Oh, a few things do stand, but we'd want a book to put them in, I think. But the thing that amazed me mostly was the isolation of the people and the way they got together. I mean, we had players from Gimbown and that area, and they used to travel and train well, and they were good competitors. And it stands out to me, and unfortunately, present day, this type of thing can't go. I mean, the get-togethers, the boys, they trained hard. The outstanding thing that we had, I think in 3 years that I was at Perrone, we had about 5 nights in the 3 years that we didn't have a barbecue pie night or a fish night or whatever. The supporters used to fall over backwards to support the players, and you know, that's tremendous.
Yes, I was only looking at a list over there last night, and I think that there were so many pie nights and chop nights and things like that donated that they didn't have enough nights to fit them in, which is tremendous. John, you mentioned club spirit. You would no doubt well and truly part of that club spirit.
Well, I believe that I was part of Perrone, but I think the club spirit that Perrone had was, Sid Crick played in many clubs, and he said he never struck a more of a close spirit that Perrone had in any of all his career, and I felt the same too. We were just one happy family. Like, it was a terrific spirit in the club, and it was a shame it had to stop.
Yes, and also John and Jerry too. Can you tell me whether you ever won league best and fairest, please? Because I've asked and nobody can tell me.
Me? Or no, I was only runner-up.
You're only runner-up. Okay, and Jerry, did you ever win one?
No, I was runner-up, stand to that mighty little bugger who's only about 2'6" and Bags Barry. But,
yes, we've got records of that, but I just had in the back of my mind that there was 2 or 3 Perrone players had won best and fairest in the league, but it appears as though it was only Curley in 1955.
The year I was 18, I was runner-up to Ray Smith from Naraja.
Yes, that's right. We've got a cutting of that over there too. Athel, anything in that 59 team that you remember above anything else?
No, I remember the 1960 better than the 59 because we weren't expected to beat Dimboola, and we got up and beat Dimboola at, I think it was at Natimuck, and I remember that more vivid than the 1959.
You don't remember who you played on?
No, I don't. No. I think it was Taylor was on that day at Natimuck.
Yeah, that rings a bell. A very good footballer too. Johnny Taylor. He works in Horsham now in the youth development. Alan, anything in the club that you remember?
No, but mentioning Athel and Taylor, I can remember Athel having a few goes with Jimmy Taylor from Natimuck.
And Neil, you were associated with both clubs. No doubt there'd be a few highlights.
Oh yes, it's hard to bring them to mind, anything especially. I thoroughly enjoyed playing football out at Perrone, and when Perrone fell through and the Perrone boys come into Goroke, I enjoyed the football. Sort of couldn't pinpoint any especially out, but I thoroughly enjoyed my football with both clubs.
Yeah, okay then. Well look, thank you very much, each one of you, for participating in this interview. And there's one thing that'll always stick out in my mind. It was always a heck of a good game to play against Perrone. There might have been a few barks off the field, but there was never any on the field, and it was really tremendous. And I think everybody in both teams just G'd themselves up that little bit more because we were playing each other. And thank you one and all.
At the moment we have Jack Thompson, who was the first coach of Perrone, I believe.
That's right.
It's good to see you back here, Jack. No doubt you've got some fond memories of the old days at Perrone.
Oh, it's great to be back. I've got to beat up a lot of fellas yet.
And you were recruited from the Horsham club to coach at Perrone?
Well, I played with Gimbown, then I was from Horsham, then played with Gimbown for a couple of years.
Oh, right. So you were in the district before that?
That's right.
And did Perrone play Gimbown in the year you were coaching?
No, Gimbown pulled out, that's why I finished up coaching.
Oh, right. No doubt the conditions in those days would have been pretty rough, Jack?
Oh, they're rough, but they're all right. It's good to be out here.
Some of the players of those years that you'd recall, do you recall any players from the Perrone years?
Oh, yes. The 2 Crabtree boys and the 2 Bird boys were quite good players.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to remember back 35 years.
Yeah, okay. The conditions in the changing rooms and shower rooms and things would have been rough in those days, no doubt? Or did you have showers?
There was no shower, but the conditions were pretty good.
Yeah.
We put up with it.
Yeah.
We all like to play our football.
It was a very sociable club, wasn't it?
Very sociable club. Very enjoyable to play with.
And what were you doing in the area to be able to coach Perrone?
Well, I was working for one of your life members, Mr. Sid Crick.
Oh, right, yeah, he was a great life member. He used to make the soup in my day. I don't know whether he was in the soup business in those days.
He wasn't in the soup business, but he could still play football.
Yeah, right, he was. I believe he knocked out more players than just ran up against. He used to knock out half the players he went up against. Is that correct?
That wouldn't be quite right, no. I was just talking to Sid today, and he told me he had more trouble on the boundary when he had playing football. Yeah, I believe he was attacked on one occasion with a lump of 4B2 by one. This is when he was playing for Gimbound that someone attacked him with a lump of 4B2 because they'd knocked out his son or something. That happened to me. Somebody tried to have him. I got protected by Sid. Okay, well, thank you very much, Jack, for speaking with us, and we hope you enjoy your day. Thank you very much.
3 in 1964, and the record shows I must have been there in 66 for a while.
There we go, introducing JB Foster, Johnny Foster, who coached Goroke for 2.5 years, and well, he played for those 3 years. Johnny, some of your memories of Perrone?
Perrone, great fun, tremendous fun. Sure, I don't think there was one poor moment in the lot. Memories, yes, my first match, and I played on Bill Robertson, who previous year had played interleague football for the Wimmera, and I was trying to impress the Goroke people so much, the Perrone people so much, and the Goroke people, that I knocked the goalpost over in the second quarter, and I couldn't go on after that. That was too much. Other things I can remember, Clarkey, one of the young Clarkeys, landed fullback, little short fella, landed Victor, tractor, landed on his back on the barbecue there at the ground one night, and he didn't fry up, he got up and seemed to carry on. Other good things were the nights up in the Perrone Hall. Great fun, tremendous fun, everybody there. What about the time we got booked for having a grog out there?
I think might have been.
And we got the top barrister in from Melbourne. He soon fixed it up. I don't know, a few pockets around Perrone might have fixed it up a bit too, but anyway, they'd fix it up. That's some of them. No, it was all good fun. What about Friday Steen and Blocks and that cooking tea there on a Thursday night? Great fun.
Yeah, it certainly was. One of the poorer moments of those years, of one particular year, 63 I think it was, Johnny, was the collision between Alan Martin and Brian Murray.
Yes, yeah, I can remember that. Yes, I was about 20 yards away at the time and saw it happen, and I certainly, everybody felt really bad about that. But anyway, Brian's not here today, is he?
No, unfortunately, I don't think he can make it.
No. Well, he was a great part of the Perrone Footy Club. And of course, Alan Martin sort of come in from Swan Hill, life member at Swan Hill, and like he was a top footballer, wasn't he? Great footballer, yeah.
And Johnny, I remember there were always some great clashes against Goroke. And I seem to remember one particular instance here when it was a very close game, and I was just wondering if you recall that instance when I think a goal umpire's decision could have cost us the game.
That was a beauty, yeah, that was the classic of all time. I was around about centre-half forward myself. I was right behind the ball. Who kicked that ball? Can you remember? Brian
Murray.
Brian Murray kicked it. He was centre-half forward. I was about 10 yards behind her, and she went straight through the centre by me, and I was right in line with her, and we expected to hit the front, but unfortunately one hand went up and we were 4 points behind still.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was so blatant. It was. Yes, I think he's a life member of the Great Football Club, but nevertheless, all in good fun. And times pass, and you forget these things.
Yeah, of course.
But obviously,
I've done worse.
Obviously, the Crabtree boys would have stood out to you in those years as good, honest, tough footballers.
Oh well, old GC, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh my God, what a man that fella was. And of course, he played for.
Stand for Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a long time before, and he was, I don't know, when I was playing there, he must have been 35, 37, I reckon, old Jeff, and he was still a top player at that stage. Yeah, and Johnny, well, Johnny really had a bit of class about him. He had an appendix operation at about 64. The year, you remember, we made the final up there at Narrajara. Henry Bull got to the ground and and fixed up his ankle going round, and I was about 15 minutes late getting there, what I should have been, and there was a couple of blokes injured before we got on the ground.
Yeah, right. And talking of Jeff Crabtree, I must it'd be amiss of me to mention that if it wasn't for Jeff Crabtree, I don't think I would have ever played football, because I can remember as a wet behind the ears 14-year-old lining up at full forward. I think Brian Murray was the coach. It was the years before you got there. And a fellow from Perrone by the name of Headley Smith was playing at full back. He was built like an outside brick toilet. And he was about to... he was pummeling me from pillar to post after kicking a couple of goals in the first quarter. And I can still remember Jeff Crabtree coming down and grabbing Headley Smith by the scruff of the neck and saying, "You keep your hands off that kid or I'll have you for breakfast." And thanks to Jeff, I'm still there anyway.
Yeah, that's right. No, he was a protector for sure.
Yeah, that's right. He certainly looked after the players, the smaller, younger players.
And another thing that I'd have to recall about the Perrone Footy Club was the older blokes around that club, like there was City Crick, I've got to forget a few, but Billy Burns and the Blocks. But I mean, I reckon they made a spirit in a footy club that's still very evident today. Like Robert Oakley is down at Edenhope, I'm at Edenhope, and Edenhope Footy Club has got part of the Perrone Footy Club spirit in it because of mine and quite a few other blokes who had experience at Perrone being out there and having the generosity of those men. And Edenhope's got a bit of Perrone in it, so Perrone hasn't finished by any means.
Yeah, right.
Not while we're going.
No, that's right. It certainly rubs off, and they were great days.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for speaking to us, Johnny, and we hope you enjoy your day, and we'll see you back. Good on you, mate.
You're right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 members of the 1947 Goroke Premiership side. As I think most will realise, this was the first team that went into Central Wimmera after the Second World War. And first of all, Mac Hawkins. Welcome back, Mac.
Thank you very much. A great team, a great year. We scored a goal in the first 20 seconds of that match, and I believe if we hadn't done that, we wouldn't have won the premiership. And I think my mate beside me, Alan Parrish, scored the winning point. We defeated the Horsham seconds by 1 point in what was a memorable game.
Well, as has been stated, Alan Parrish. Welcome back, Alan.
I was only 19th man that day, and that's how I missed out on the photo. I was getting changed. I think I might have been late or something. But I think I went on and replaced Dick Haybeck, and Dick injured his ankle, I think, and I went on to the half-forward flank, kicked a point, and then I went on to the half-back flank for the rest of the day. Played on Stake Mills.
Yeah, very good, Alan. Very good to have you back.
Reg Packer kicked the ball out, I marked it, and the siren went out.
7-9 to 7-8.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. I wasn't there because I bawled my eyes out because Dad wouldn't let me go. And here we have the evergreen Steve Allen. Welcome, Steve.
Well, it gave me a great thrill to play in that 1947 team, to win the premiership. There's one thing that I'll never forget. Our old back pocket player, Pete Robertson here, Horsham took the ball forward and I thought we're gone. He punched it to the ground and kicked it around to the centre wing and the bell went. We won by a point.
Very good, and arguably the best footballer ever produced in the Goroke district. Welcome, Edgar.
Thanks, Stan. Very good. I enjoyed every game I played with Goroke too, so I did. I think the 1947 premiership was one of the greatest ever won against Horsham. They got beaten by 1 point and Goroke drank it.
Very good. And moving back a little bit, we have a person who is a very, very good back pocket player. I do remember him playing, and I've been told a lot about you, Peter, and you're also a very staunch supporter of the club now, have been a president in recent years. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Stan. I'd just like to say what a great side and what a great time we had playing in 1947. Probably the best year of football I ever played, and And it was certainly, there were no weak links in it. It was a great team, and we had a great time and finished up winning the premiership.
And full forward that particular day, and I can remember Dad coming home and saying he was full of the flu and shouldn't have played. And the gentleman who opened our community club rooms today, Bob Walker.
Thank you, Stan. It was always great to play. It's always great to be part of Goroke, and I've been thrilled today to be part of the back two of the reunion. I've enjoyed football and I've enjoyed Goroke, and like us all, it was a great team. I was very proud to be a member of it.
And moving on, I think half forward flank, if I remember rightly, and I can remember that he could play the loose man to perfection. They talk about loose men and play on football in the 70s and the 80s, but this man was very good at it, and I can remember a very good pass of the ball. Ron Edwards.
After hearing all the others speak, I presume somebody's got to be honest. My main job was they had an oversupply of chewing gums, and I had to help them use it up. I've enjoyed being here today, as I told you earlier, and it's been a real thrill, a very big thrill of my life to be here.
Thank you, Ron. We'll move along to W.B. Burns. Now, I've tried and tried to get out of him what year he started playing football. We know it was sometime through the 20s. He played in the 47 Premiership side. He also played in the 50 Premiership side. And it's really good to have you here, Bill.
Thank you, Stan, very much. It's very, very good to be with our old mates of that team. I think it was about the best team I played in with Goroke, and I think we had the best coach that I ever had in Rexy Braben. Terrific coach. Stan, thank you very much.
Okay, and I think fullback, was Cess Burns. Either fullback or back pocket and changing in the ruck. Good to have you here, Cess.
Well, chaps, it's good to be with our old mates again. And that 1947 was a terrific year of football. Played in good spirit. And the coach was magnificent for his workmanship he did for the club. Thank you.
And I've forgotten what position, Gordon. Centre wing, would that be right?
Half forward flank.
And half forward flank. But one thing we always remember about footballers of this particular era, and Gordon was no exception, they could all mark, they could all kick to position, and they all played to position. And Gordon, 1 or 2 words from you?
There's only one thing wrong with my football. I could get the ball, but I couldn't kick it straight.
And moving on, we've already had him on before, but we'll have him on again. In today's football, you might think he was too short. You might think all of them were a bit short, but anybody who could out-ruck Sid was doing a mighty good job. Sid, a word or two from you, please.
Well, they're very nice words, but I don't know whether I really lived up to that. But I am very pleased to be back here to meet the lads that helped us win this, play this game, which I think has slipped over the years. When they take the drop kick out of football, I think football is gone. Thank you.
And just as a tribute to Rex, I'd like to hand over to Mac.
Thank you, Stan. During the time that I played football, that spanned over some 20 years, I believe that Rex Braben was the best coach that I ever played under. During that my playing period, I played under coaches that were paid thousands of dollars, and I don't believe that in that time I struck one of the equal of Rex Braben. And in time straight after the war, it was difficult times. People hadn't readjusted to life, but Rex had the complete confidence of every member of the team, and he was a man of very small stature, but he was a great coach, a great man, and I think Goroke should have been privileged to have had a man of his calibre to coach that 1947 team. And I believe that 47 team was one of the great sides that I played in my entire football career. Thank you.
Thanks, Mac. And if I could just add to that, even when I started playing football in the early 1950s, the 1947 team was still being talked about. And that, I know you taught me to kick a footy, yeah, but that 1947 team was talked about for many, many years, and I believe myself that the premierships that Goroke won in later years, in 50 and 51 and 54 and even on into 58. A lot of it can be attributed to you boys who were in the 1947 team. Thank you one and all for coming along. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for a long, long time. Thank you very much.
And with me again, we welcome you, Steve Allen. Welcome.
Thanks, Richie.
It's Steve Allen is the he played till the ripest old age, and that I believe was 50 years. Steve, is that correct?
I called it a day then. I thought I'd had enough.
And also with us, joining us here in rather a rowdy club rooms, is Mick Wilder, who is the started playing football with Goroke at the tender age of not quite 14, I believe, Mick.
13 and about 2 months, Richie. Yeah.
13 years and 2 months, and that's quite a feat. Mick, you'd feel like a duck out of water when you saddle up the first time, no doubt.
That's true, Richie. In those days, you had to play the second 4 quarters and then run on in the 4 quarters for the first, and it was common knowledge that you were absolutely buggered when you finished the 2 games.
Yeah, right. And Steve, no doubt you would have no regrets about playing to that age. You would have enjoyed every minute of it.
None whatsoever, Richie, and I don't think I've got any little fix of it. As far as the bones go, they're pretty solid.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with a lot of footballers nowadays, giving it up so soon. They seem to have much more injuries. Perhaps with the tougher lifestyle you fellows used to lead, that you managed to stand up for much longer.
They tell me that you'll suffer for that later on, playing for so long, but I haven't got an ache as far as the joints goes. I've got troubles, but it's not in the bones.
Yeah, right, and that no doubt chasing that mad kangaroo helped you out too there. Mick, some of the better players you've played with in your time, you must have a few.
Oh, yes, great mate in Terry Stacey. Terry was probably 12 months or so older than me. Played with Bruce Bartlett, Don Dixon, even yourself, Richie.
Thanks, Mick, you're correct there.
Played the odd game as well. Too numerous to mention, really, Richie, I think.
Yeah, OK, well, I'll give you that $10 later, mate. And Steve, I think we've been through your career yesterday in your home, and it's wonderful to see you here today, and we're so glad you could make it.
Thanks, Richie.
And thanks, Mick.
Thanks, Richie.
The ladies committee, and no club, whether they be football club or any other sporting club, can get along without a hard-working ladies committee. And one of the longest serving members on our ladies committee has been Glad Allen. Welcome, Glad.
Thanks, Dan.
And can you give us a clue on about how many years you were president of the ladies committee?
Yes, well, I was influenced ladies to make this a possibility many years ago, and I had a good backing, and I served 16 years as president.
And that's one reason, that's only one though, why you became Goroke's first and only so far Lady Life member.
Well, during that period, in the last 5 years of that 16, I also made the move to start a social committee and was president of that for 5 years, so I had the double load at the one time.
Very good. Can you give us a clue what year was your first one?
No, about 1949 or 50, somewhere there.
And prior to that, did they have anybody dishing up afternoon tea and things like that?
Yes, the School Mothers Club used to, and I saw that it was money going away from the football club, and that made me anxious to get it all in the one pocket.
Oh, very good. Next in line we have Mrs. Dot Ellis. Dot, can you give us a clue as to what years you were in charge of the ladies committee?
Well, it was in the 70s. I think it was 1977, 78. I was president and then secretary for, I'd say, 2 years, probably 79 and 80.
Very good. And next to Dot is Reen By. Reen and Alf, well, Alf's a life member, and Reen and Alf have been connected with the football club for many years. Reen, can you see many differences between when you were president and today?
I'll say, Stan, because we used to have the old concrete floor and the tin shed and the wind whistling around the legs. But other than that, we enjoyed helping. And the atmosphere, the social side was always very, very nice.
And our current ladies president, Wendy Block. Welcome to you too, Wendy.
Stan.
And I suppose you think you're rather fortunate compared to these other ladies with the facilities?
Yes, I am very lucky, and I'm very proud to be part of this club today. Normally this committee is just a working committee, but today makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, very good. Glad, could you just give us a clue as to what the facilities were like when you first started as ladies committee president?
I recall that, Stan. We had the open pavilion at the showgrounds, and we thought it was Christmas when we got our cement floor and a few more conveniences here at the footy ground.
And Dot, was it your era when they started selling pies and sabs and things?
Yes, we sold pies and sabs, and we had to make sure they were ordered on the Friday night, and guests estimate the crowd for the next day, and sometimes it was wet and we wouldn't use them all. Another time we'd run out when we had a terrific crowd at the football.
And another member who's just come in on the crew, I hope that's not a light, is Margaret Bird. Margaret, I presume you were very involved with the Perrone Football Club.
I was more involved with the Goroke one, actually.
You were more involved with Goroke. Well, can you see many changes from when you were involved to today?
Lots. There's lots of changes.
That's right. My memory's not too good. I was thinking of years and years ago, but you've been very involved in the last, 10, 12 years?
Yes, when the Colt started, actually.
Yeah, well, that's
involved with them right from then.
17 years ago, so that's a bit further back than what we thought.
Yeah, around about then. So it's a good while.
Yeah, and you had a very willing bunch of women working with you?
Yes, there always have been a very good bunch of women.
And back to you, Glad. Dirt floors, coppers.
Yes.
Did you have hot dogs and things like that and pies as well as the ladies do nowadays?
Only hot dogs, Stan. Until more recent years, the pies and soup came into being then.
And did you ever have anybody like Bernie out to make sure that everything was carted up for you every morning and have everything organised?
Yes, in my later years I had the service of Bernie. The secretary and Bernie worked very well together, and we're very, very grateful for the years of service that Bernie gave to the club.
Yes, we're going to try and get Bernie on video, but I think he's fairly shrewd and has stayed away. I'm not real sure about that, but he was down here fairly early this morning doing his usual chores for the ladies.
Imagine he would be. He loves the club.
Okay then, well, thank you very much to all of the ladies. His pavilion, and working very hard and putting pies in there is Val Bull. And how are you today, Val?
Fairly busy. Would you like a pie, a sab or a cup of soup?
Well, just at the moment we're a bit busy too, but with a menu like that it's certainly different to what it was back in the old days.
Yes, it certainly is. Very easy to keep everything in order and nice and clean and comfortable and good to clean up. No problems at all.
And also working very hard along here too is Julianne Steen. Welcome to you, Julianne.
Oh, hello, Stan. Oh, my goodness, yes.
How's business, brisk?
Well, yes, it's brisk at times, then slack at other times, but on the go pretty much all the time.
And also somebody here, I don't know if she's got a sore hand or what's wrong with her. And now she's cleared out. Well, good on you, Neville, you got that. And Lynn, working very hard here. What do you think of the new facility?
Great.
What are you rostered for? Freddo Frogs or Smarties?
For anything, but a lot have been on so long I just took over, that's all.
And you enjoy your life with the ladies of the Goroke Football Club? Good, thank you. Former Perrone players and a former Perrone coach in Herb Dummersney. Welcome back, Herb.
Yeah, welcome. Very nice to be back here to see all the old boys again. Still a few left.
Next to Herb is Bill Black.
How are you?
And next to Bill, Leon Meagle. Welcome back, Leon.
Thanks, Dan. It's great to be back.
And we've got Curly Rolfe again, as some people mightn't know, but most do. Curly played for both Goroke and Perrone.
Filled in a gap. Nice to see Herb Dummersney here, really nice.
Herb, could you tell us what years you coached at Perrone?
Perrone was 54 and 55.
Well, you had some of the difficult years when Perrone were rebuilding after being in recess. Okay, and Bill, you were a senior player?
Off and on.
And Leon, I can remember playing against you. You played for quite a few years for Perrone. Any real highlights in that time?
Only the two grand finals were the best highlights we had in 59-60.
Well, you had a good term at Perrone. Then if you started with Herb and you finished up in 60, or you may have gone later than that, but you certainly had some highlights. Curly, you won the Perrone Best and Fairest in 54, 5, 6 and 7, I believe.
That's correct, yeah.
And you also won the league Best and Fairest at Perrone in 55.
Yeah, 55, runner-up 56 and runner-up 57.
Yes, and when you came back to Goroke, you won it in 58 in the league, which I think that's a record that takes a power of beating. You know anybody who could come near that, Herb?
No, not at present. Won't be now. Too old now.
Herb, you were a former Horsham footballer, weren't you?
Full-back for Horsham. Played full-back for Horsham for 7 years.
And whereabouts did you fill in at Perrone?
All over the place at Perrone. A rover.
Yeah, and typical coaching job. If there was a spot to be filled in, you filled it in. And
the RSL club in Horsham, coached them for 2 years, then Perrone for 2 years and Quantong for 12 months.
Well, you had quite a bit of coaching experience. Yeah. And Bill, did...
And 1 year umpiring.
Yeah, you learned after 1 year that you weren't cut out for it. Curly, what were your highlights at Perrone, apart from all those best and fairest and league best and fairest? Any other highlight?
Oh, I think it's around about the first time that I ever really played under a paid coach. And Herb Dumsey, not just because he's here, he was one of the best coaches I think I played under. And I learnt quite a bit from Herb. And he showed me quite a bit. And that was one of my highlights, having a paid coach for the first time.
And Leon, is there anything that really sticks out in your mind regarding those premiership years?
Those premiership years? Oh yes, I think beating Margil Lake was one of them. And we sort of out of play. We all grew up as young fellas together, and when we got it together, that was the proudest moment I think we ever had.
And you also had a terrific leader in Jerry Taylor.
Oh yes, Jerry Taylor. Yes, good leader.
Yeah. I think anybody who couldn't learn from Jerry, well, they didn't want to learn at all. Well, look, it's been tremendous to have you together. And any other comment you'd like to make, Herb?
Let me go. No, I'm still smoking.
It's been terrific to have you back, and thank you very much to each one.
Rooms, we have 2 life members of the Goroke Club, an old stalwart in Mr. Horace Walter. Good afternoon, Horace.
If you don't mind me calling you Horace.
No. What do you want?
Welcome. Welcome.
Good.
Yeah, right.
You want me to... Well, I've got this, I might as well say something. I was always noted for having plenty of yap, and I've lost that as I got older. But it's been a great pleasure to be down here today, Dick. And I've met a lot of the old chaps. That's the only reason I come. I wasn't that interested in watching the football. My idea was to come down and have a talk to the chaps that I worked with and help run the football club back in the 1950s and the early 60s. I think I might hold one record down here. I think I was 23 years that I was timekeeper for the Goroke Club. I think that might take a bit of tossing. And there's a man here today, I was just telling someone, in Sid Gibbs, who I reckon holds a record. He was the only captain that I know of that took a Goroke team right through the year and never got beaten. That was in 1950. We had some close calls, but we got there.
Thanks. Yeah, no worries, Mr. Walter. And also with us is Mr. Bon Bailey, another great stalwart of the club. Welcome, Bon.
Welcome, Richie. Very nice to be here. I'm especially pleased to be here among all the people that has had something to do with the Goroke Football Club over years. There's a lot of them I don't know until I ask myself or ask them who's there. But it's nice to be sitting beside Horace, our neighbour, and also a great helper for the Goroke Football Club. He said he something about a record, but I would say that Horace had the greatest record of seconding the motion and carrying it. He was always there, and he was always doing something at the meetings. But apart from all that, it gives me a great satisfaction to know that this is the climax of 100 years of football, and it's a great day. The club rooms they have here and the community rooms they have is a great thing, and it'll prove great in the long run. I'm still following it out there in the centre. I had 2 grandsons in the first, in the seconds, and I got 1 in the first. So I don't want to miss too much, but I'd just like to say this, that Jean is, my wife is very sorry that the day is so rough and windy a bit that she can't get over here to join in among them. But I congratulate especially the present committee and the young ones that's still keeping the great club going, which I think is one of the greatest. I've mingled and joined in a lot of clubs, and this one is doing a great job, and I think it's getting very little publicity, not the publicity that it deserves. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thanks, Bon. Horace, I hope you don't mind me calling you Horace.
No.
You must be very...
Most of the girls up there call me Horace.
Yeah, right. You must be very proud to have your son Jack as the current president to see the opening of this new building.
I'm really proud that Jack has taken over the presidency. I had it for 2 years, many, many years ago. And it's a good thing to know that some of your sons follow in your footsteps. I noticed too in the paper that Stan has taken a very active part in this particular project, in the reunion. He even had his name in the Sun. So I don't think I ever got my name there, so he's beat me there.
Yeah, excellent.
I don't know, what else was I going to say? Oh, I'd like to just apologise for my wife not being able to be here, but under the conditions, she's in a wheelchair, as you know, and I'm stopping down tonight, and she can't stop away at night for that. She's got a nurse with her.
Yeah. Okay, and of course, you mentioned Stan's name being in the paper. I think your grandson's name was in that very same paper for a misdemeanour with the umpires. Perhaps we better not mention that. And Bon, of course, you've donated a Premiership Cup over the years that I think Goroke currently hold.
Yeah, that's right. I can remember at a meeting here in Goroke club rooms when Mr. Laurie Breetag, a great footballer and a great supporter of the Goroke club, mentioned about trophies, and he mentioned that no one ever is interested in donating anything for the seconds. Well, it sunk in a bit with me, Richard, and I thought, well, when I went home, I'll donate a cup to be won. We was in another competition then with Horsham Seconds and other clubs.
Central Wimmera, wasn't it?
Central Wimmera, and I donated a cup to be won, not necessary in succession, but 5 times. Well, it went on for years, and then Horsham went out of it, but I was very pleased every time the Horsham Seconds, which was a very strong club, used to ask me to the dinner to present the club, the cup, and I was a bit disappointed in some of the other Central Wimmera leagues when they won it. Central Wimmera clubs at least won it, and they did not ask me. But the greatest thrill that in the long run that gave it to me when I presented the cup to Goroke when they finally won it 5 years, and it was the late Ian Smith who I presented it to.
Yeah, well, Skeeter, as we all knew him then, was a wonderful footballer and a great clubman. Bon, you also were a goal umpire for a very long time. Could you honestly say that all the decisions were as you saw them?
That's a good question, Richard. I was hoping you would ask me that, because I followed my grandfather's footsteps, which you can see in a photo here of 1922 Premiership that Goroke won. My grandfather was gold umpire, and my father was central umpire, and I was 10-year-old. And later on, when I become 14-year-old, I took my first membership ticket, and I've been a member ever since. But getting back to the question of gold umpire, well, I did find this out. I learnt a lot, but you did have to move quickly. And if you didn't move quickly, you had to ask the central umpire. Well, I think I asked him twice in my life. I had plenty of good friends before I was gold umpire, but I ended up with a lot of bad friends afterwards. And anyway, the Mr. Edgar Forge, Constable Forge as he was secretary of the Goroke Club, and I resigned. I thought, well, I've got no friends left. I'll quit the gold umpiring. And anyway, at an annual meeting one night,
keep going.
at an annual meeting one night, Edgar Forge said to me, or nominated me as gold umpire, and I said, not in your life. He said, you don't want to be bluffed out of it, do you? And I said, I've never been bluffed out of anything, I'll take it on. And I stopped there till I lost my other eye. So I thought, well, when you're one-eyed, get out of gold umpire.
Thanks very much, Bonner. I thought I'd ask you that in-depth question because I do recall on one occasion when I was playing for Perrone that you caused us some concern on one decision. But anyway, we're all good friends now, aren't we? That's my arm, yeah. We're all good friends. And we've the club's together now, and that's tremendous. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got to be quick, Bon.
Be quick. Well, I'm a sound supporter. My wife and I are sound supporters of the Goroke Club. We live in Horsham and we haven't missed a match for 5 or 6 years. Good.
Yeah, tremendous. Thank you very much, Mr. Horace Wilder, our 1973 coach.
That's right.
73 coach Neville Smith. Welcome, Neville.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
And Tommy Bull, who was a member of the team that Neville coached, and while he was at Perrone, he was quite often an opposing centreman, and also at Goroke before Neville came here. Welcome, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Dick.
Neville, you caused Goroke a lot of headaches before you came from Mitre Lake to Goroke to coach us. I recall one game in particular on this ground when Goroke were leading by something like 10 goals, or close on 10 goals. Do you recall the exact...
I recall it, Dick. Yeah, it was unbelievable, that match. We were getting a hell of a hiding up until three-quarter time, and Graham Womble was coaching us, and he said to us at three-quarter time, he said, look, he said, if you don't improve, he said, you may as well go and give the money back to the gatekeepers. So we all scratched our head and we thought we'd have to do something. And anyway, we started the last quarter and we got 2 or 3 quick goals, and I think I must have been playing on Tommy, and I can remember saying to Tommy, it looks like we're going to make a match of it. Anyway, another 2 or 3 quick goals and we were right back in it. And we were, I think, 9 goals 4 down, Dick. And we finished up, I think, and kicked 9 goals 6 in the last quarter, and Goroke never scored. And there was no wind either.
Yeah, right. You no doubt, Tom, you'd recall that day?
I'd sooner forget about it, Dick. Yeah,
I don't blame you, mate.
Yeah, that's right. I was playing on Neville in that last quarter when it all happened, and Neville was the main reason, I think, what they scored so well.
He was certainly an instigator there, yeah. And then, of course, Graham Womble, the coach who was coaching you at that particular time, then came to Goroke and coached Goroke for 2 years, I think it was, following that, after which you took over the reins from Graham.
Yeah, that's right, Richie. Yeah, and the year I had at Goroke, I really enjoyed it. I'd like to have had another year, but it was the year Mum and Dad retired to Portland, and I just never had time. But as I said, I enjoyed coaching Goroke. I learned a lot the first year. You always make mistakes. As I said, another year would have been great, but I just like to thank the Goroke Footy Club, for that year, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, some of the better players of those times, Neville?
Oh, well, my old mate here, Tommy, he was always hard to beat in the centre. He was a great ball player, You'd never see him doing anything bad. I don't think he ever got reported, Tommy. We used to have some good clashes out there and have a drink after the match, and I think that's the way football should be played. But probably going back a little bit further, Richie, there was blokes like Brucey Bartlett, the coach Goroke. He was a top player. Rolly Rigby from Balmoral. Jerry Taylor, the coach Perrone. All top players. Jerry was probably one of the toughest players I'd ever played on, but a real ball player. But he was very tough, hard man to beat. But there's a lot of others too, Richie. But it's hard to remember them all. Yeah.
And Tommy, around those times,
and won 2 best and fairest for Goroke, and one of the most brilliant players, I think.
He also won a league best and fairest, Tom, I think.
Yeah, I think that could be right too. Yeah. Oh no, there was many good opponents, that's for sure. I think Neville was probably one of the best for so long in this league too, which is he was a gentleman to play against too.
Actually, Neville, I think it's a pity Graham couldn't have been here, because I know you and Graham were the best of mates, and the old hooker, he was a top man. And unfortunately, I think he's the president, or when I say unfortunately, I think he's the president of Camberdown Football Club at the moment. and of course he's got prior commitments. But Neville, personally, I think you might have witnessed the beginning of the end of my career during your year as coach.
Yeah, that's right, Richie, and it was a shame. That's what I said before. It was a shame because I thought we had a fairly good side that year, and you were one of the main key cogs at centre-half forward there, and I think the first 3 or 4 matches, I think you're a BOG, and then you done the old knee, and I don't think you played any more that year.
No, I didn't. Actually, I think when I actually did my knee was at training. I had a sore shoulder and I was training like buggery to try and get back into the side, and someone ran across my knee on the training track, which makes it all the more disheartening.
Yeah, that's right, Rich. It was a bad luck it happened that way, but as I said, I still enjoyed the year. We made the first semi, but we weren't quite good enough, but I think if you'd have been there, it could have been a different result, right through.
Well, you're probably dead right there. Well, no, thanks very much anyway, Neville Smith and Tommy Bull, for being here today, and we hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you.
It's coach of Goroke in the years 1956 and 1957. Welcome, Snow.
Thank you, Stan. Very good to be here.
And also another player who started with Goroke, I think, in 1953 and played for many years, but he played a lot of football with Snow too, and Fred Lowe. Welcome, Fred.
Thanks, Stan. Great to be here.
Snow, what do you remember about your years at Goroke?
Well, first of all, I was very surprised with the state of the football here, Stan. I thought I was coming from a bit better league over there, but when I came here, it didn't take me long to find out that I wasn't.
Oh, well,
a very good league. Yeah.
That's very interesting, because we try to tell a few nowadays that it was good football too, and they really don't believe us. Fred, is there anything you can remember about Snow's coaching that stuck in your mind?
Stan, probably I'd say that Snow was probably one of our fitter type coaches. He was a very unlucky coach not to win a premiership with us, particularly in his second year when we had Mick and Dave. That was correct, wasn't it, Snow? And that was a darn good team that we had in that particular year in 57. And there's just one other thing while we think about it. I think Snow was our best and fairest in both those seasons that he played with us. 56 and 57, you took off our best and fairest.
Yeah, that's exactly right too. I know there's one thing I'll never forget about your football, Snow. You were very direct in what you told us, and you were very direct in your play. And by that I don't mean that you went straight through people, but when you kicked the ball, it stayed kicked, and it went a long way. And touching on Dave Austin, that was the second year, and your brother Mick. Well, Mick was unlucky that he did break an ankle, but the club was extremely fortunate in having Dave.
Yeah, he's a good forward, Dave. And previous to coming here, he won the best and fairest in the carnival in Adelaide, which is a pretty good effort, for a full forward.
My word.
So he's a very talented player.
Yeah.
We didn't see the best of him here, really.
No, I was talking to a chap in Horsham only a few nights ago, and he said that old Silver Avery got him out of retirement to play against Dave, and he said play him from behind. Well, he said I did until I got cheeky in the last quarter, and then Dave climbed all over me.
That's right. Yeah.
Stan, the thing I'll never forget about Dave, and that was his 19 goals, I think it was, against Naraja on the showground. And I think he had that awful close to kicking 20, which would have been a magnificent effort, but I think it was 19 that particular day up there, and I don't know what we won the game by, but it was a mammoth score.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right, and looking back through some old paper cuttings, he kicked 12 a couple of times. There was only one day that he only got one, and the team only got one. You don't remember that match at nil, do you, Snow?
I can never forget it.
I can remember it at three-quarter time. You looked up at the board and you said, well, boys, the writing's on the wall. Well, it isn't. It's on the bloody board, so you have a look at it.
That's right, yeah, real trouble that day. Yeah.
That's right, but it was the only real drubbing that we did have.
That's right, yeah. We've had a pretty good year when I was here. I thought I was very, very pleased with the boys.
Yes, I know it has been said since that in 1958 when we won the premiership, even though Curly did a magnificent job as coach, a lot of your coaching had rubbed off onto the players, and you'll never be forgotten in the Goroke district for that. That'll be right, Fred?
I'd go along with that, Stan. I thought that Snow did the groundwork for Curly, and fair enough, he finished it off, but I believe that Snow's 2 previous years coaching prior to 58 premiership and our Meadows Cup that particular year was the help of Snow. And in 56 and 50 particular year, when we got the green and gold flag that's up there on the flagpole, that Dim, I think, had the cheek to go and flog off us after we had it unfurled. But that was also the centenary year of Victorian rules. That's why the green and gold flag.
That's right. And Snow, did you feel that your coaching at Goroke helped you later on when you went coaching at Borders and other places?
Yeah, definitely, Stan. Yeah, it's the experience I got here with the boys, and this is my first effort here when I came over here. It was coaching, and I felt it done me a lot of good in the games to follow, or years to follow that I coached borders, and it was a good groundwork for me. You know, good grounding, and it made a big difference to me.
Yeah, very good, and the club was certainly very, very proud to have you as a coach for 2 years. And incidentally, Fred has also been a lifetime member of the Goroke Club. He has been honoured with a life membership. He's been president for a number of years, and it's been certainly great to talk to both of you. Thank you both very much.
Thanks, Stan.
Former coaches up here in front of the dressing tent now, please. In 53 and 54 was Jimmy Cartwright. Thank you, Jim. Now, the first Perrone coach I have on the list, but I'm not sure whether he's here or not, was Harold Sawyer in 1951-52. Not here. Well, Jack Thompson was coach of Perrone in 1953. I know Jack's here. Would you like to come out, please? Thanks, Jack. The Perrone coach in 1954-55, Herb Dummersney. Thank you, Herb. And now you can give him another round of applause. He was coach of Goroke in 1953 and 54. He also coached Perrone 56, 7 and 8, and is Jimmy Cartwright. Goroke coach 56 and 57, Snow Hole. Goroke coach in 1958, Len Rolfe, or Curly as all of us knew him as. Perrone coach in the years 1959, 60 and 61. Coached them to the premiership in 59 and 60, Jerry Taylor. I haven't seen him yet, but he said he was coming, Goroke coach in 59, Keith Forbes. Good, thank you. Good on you, Keith. Goroke coach 1960 was an apology, was Billy Fox. Bill's in a delicatessen in Adelaide, and he rang me the other night to say that he was unable to attend. Also another apology was the Perrone coach of 1962, was Brian Murray. Goroke coach 1961, 62 and 63, Donald Dixon. Perrone coach of 1963 and 64, John B. Foster, JB. Thanks, John. Goroke coach of 1964 and 65, Bruce Bartlett. Perrone coach of 65 was Kevin Forster. I'm not sure whether Kevin's here either. And in 66 at Perrone, Kevin and John were joint coaches. 66 coach at Goroke, who is an apology. He rang this morning to say that he couldn't make it. He did intend coming, was John Rowan. 67 coach was John Eilert. 68, what have we done, Neville? 68 coach for Goroke was John McDonald. I'm not sure whether John's here yet either. 69-70 coach of Goroke, Keith Dixon. I know Keith's here. 71-72, Graham Womwell is an apology. 1973 is Neville Smith. 1974, the coach was Dennis Foster. 75 was Jack Hahn. I don't think Jack's here yet either, but I think he's coming. 76 and 7 was Terry Emerson. 1978, Bruce Bird. 1979 was Theo van der Leest and Russell Allen. 1980 was Bruce Bird and Philip Crabtree. And 1981 was Philip Crabtree and John Bradley. Thanks, Phil. That's the year that all Goroke will remember. I think it was after 16 years we finally got that premiership we'd been chasing. 1982 was Phil Crabtree. 1983 and 84 was one of the central umpires today, Chris Towett. Is he coming or not? I think I might have said 60 then. It should have been 83 and 84. 1985, 86. He'll be here tonight, but as far as I know, he's busy playing at the moment. That's Paul Block. And our 1987-98 coach is Darren Hawker. Thanks, Chris. Good on you. You used to do that when you played here too. To all these gentlemen, you have all been a very, very important part of the history of both the Goroke and the Perrone football clubs. And we certainly thank you very, very much for making the time available today to come back, meet old friends, be part of this presentation right now. And to each and every one of you, thank you very much. Okay, the ladies have afternoon tea ready right now. Anybody who wants a cup of tea and a plate of cake, it's on right now.
At the moment we have two of the most decorated players of recent years, or semi-recent years, of the Goroke Football Club. I refer to Philip Walker, who I believe was League Best and Fairest, Central Wimmera League Best and Fairest in, I believe, 1974, Phil, is that correct?
Oh, right, Richard, yeah, 74.
Yeah, thanks, Philip. And Neville Guthridge, who I believe was League Best and Fairest in 1970.
That's correct, Rich.
Good, thank you. There's obviously a lot of water under the bridge since you've won yours, Philip, but I still see you're out there with the seconds and enjoying yourselves.
I've had a lot of great times in the past. I've sort of played 2 years and I've had a car accident a couple of years after that.
How many car accidents?
I think it's 21 to be exact, Dick, but I'm not proud of that effort. I'm over 21. I'm over 21 years of age now, Richard. But...
Oh, right. Well, you should be right. And Neville, I can remember you you won your Best and Fairest under the coaching of Keith Dixon, is that correct?
Yeah, Keith was coach in 69 and 70, yeah.
Right, and they were great years. They were very happy years. You'd remember that replayed grand final, no doubt?
Yes, I was just discussing it before, actually. It was Well, it's good to play in a final. It would have been better to win it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're still playing yourself, Neville?
Oh yeah, I have a bit of a game every Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. I meant football. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Neville is a Darren Alleman still helping them out each week. And Philip, it must have been a big thrill for you to see your father open the club rooms here this morning.
Yeah, I didn't hear him, but he'd be probably like me, talk a bit of bull crap. But you know, he did the job, and I don't know why. I should have got the job. I think, you know, I better talk and don't as much. I hope you don't play this back to the dad or anything like this. I hope. But no, you know, it's probably an achievement. He's played football years and years ago, well before my time. I think, Dick, I mightn't have been born, but you know, I suppose, you know, he'd be proud of it, I suppose, to be asked and Goroke to open this. I think it's an honour to him, actually.
Yeah, well, he's certainly been a great man for the community. And if I could just ask you both, firstly, Phil, who are some of the better players in your era that come to mind? There must be some that stand out.
Oh, it's sort of, you know, I'm getting old, Dick. Sort of, you forget years ago, you know. I mean, you know, I had the Hans, like Jack Ott now, you know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, well, I think that you'd find that fairly difficult thinking. But anyway, we'll move on to Neville. Some of your better players that spring to mind.
Well, it's been a fair while since I was here, but I remember the great old backstops like Brian Gunn and Keithy Dixon in the ruck, and Tim Smith, I suppose, only a young player, and Tim and Steve.
Yeah, right. Well, that sort of buggers me because I thought I might have got a ticket in that, but I seem to miss out. But
you tell your wife Carol, don't you? It's pretty good.
Anyway, thank you very much for being interviewed. We're two of the most decorated players in semi-recent years of the Goroke Football Club, Phil Walker and Neville.
Once again, I have three gentlemen here with me that all played in the Goroke team of 1933. Here on my left is Mr. Ellis Dixon. Welcome, Ellis, and thank you for coming back.
Thank you very much.
In the centre, Mr. Guy Brook. Welcome to you too, Guy.
Thank you very much. It's lovely to be here.
And he's been on a few times before, but it's good to have him back again. Welcome back, Bill.
Thanks, Dan. 1933, was it? Well, that's a very lucky year for me. That's the year I got married. Thanks very much.
Yeah, well, you're in the photo here, Bill, but you haven't got a smile on your face. It might have been before you got married. I have a photograph here with me, and these gentlemen might be able to talk about some of the players that played in those days. Can you remember, Ellis, who was captain of that team?
No, I'd ask if I can.
The man with the ball is Jimmy Nixon. I don't know whether he's captain.
Jimmy Nixon was the man. He was our coach.
Yeah, and what sort of a footballer was he?
A good footballer. Yeah. At National Bank. Yeah. We played him before his clearance come through, Stan, and we lost that match. Yeah. You ask your father, he'll tell you all of that. I played without a clearance too when they left here, but they never caught up with me.
Guy, you look to be a very young man in that photo. You'd be just out of school?
Yes, that's right, Stan. Yes, he was very old then. About 18, I think.
And what position did you play on the field?
In the forward line.
And Bill, centre would you be?
Centre nearly all my life.
And what was your position, Ellis?
Half forward flank.
Half forward flank. A few fellas in that team there. They're pretty big sort of people. Ron Galpin, Jack Golding, George Mitchum, all ruckman, I suppose.
That's right. That's right. They were ruckman and fullback. That was quite a good team that year. My word, yeah. George Lampard, he was in that team too.
Can you explain to us the reason why you and your brother and George, all Edenhope fellas, there may be some more there too, came to Goroke that particular year?
Yes, well, we won the premiership with Edenhope the year before, and we didn't see eye to eye with Edenhope because a lot of us had been playing with Edenhope, and so we decided to come up here.
Yeah, it seems to me in those days too that we changed around leagues a lot. Would that be the Cowrie League?
That was then. We played against Francis and Minimay, and when we come up here first, and then we went to the Central Wimmera.
Oh, I see. And how many years did you actually play here?
We played 4 years here. 3 years and a part of the 4 years and a part of the 5th year.
Yeah, we know Bill had a very long and distinguished career, Guy, but how many years did you play football?
Not so very long. Stan, 1937 perhaps.
Yeah. There's no doubt there was a lot of good footballers around. Could you tell us the colours? Were they black and white or were they red and white?
Red and white.
They were red and white.
Yeah, vertical stripe.
Yeah, that's very interesting because it...
Apsley was black and white.
Apsley was black and white, so they were red and white here.
It seems as though Goroke have had been black and white, blue and white and red and white, but not all at the same time, and in the 20s apparently they were black and white.
That's right.
And then in this period of time red and white, and then they went to the blue and white, and now we're back to black and white. And compared with the football you played, what do you think of the football today?
Pretty fast.
You were more of the mark and kick type?
Yes, drop kick, stab kick.
And I don't know whether you see much football nowadays, Guy, but is the umpiring much different to what it was then?
Oh, I don't know. I think, for the league games, they certainly need the 2 umpires now. So it is very fast now. A lot of handball, but we don't see the drop kicks now and the stab passes that used to be played in those days.
Yeah, that's been mentioned by quite a few of 10 and 15 years later than when you boys played. And I can remember Bill playing. He was a very nice kick, and either foot didn't really worry him all that much. Do you see much difference now, Bill? You've followed football all the way through.
Yeah, I think the rules of the football today's more or less crowded the game up, and they're blaming the umpires for a lot that they can't see because there's too many on the ball.
That's right.
The umpires don't get a chance to see everything. A lot of guesswork goes on.
Yeah, it's got a lot to do with it, there's no doubt.
Yeah, well, no doubt the football club has been thrilled that the 3 of you can be here today. 1933 is a heck of a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's great to have you here, and I think the only other one in that team, to our knowledge, that is living is Ron Galpin, and unfortunately Ron suffered a stroke.
Yes, he's in the hospital.
He's in Wimmera Base. And it's certainly been... and George Kennedy too. I was talking to George Monday morning, and he has a lot of trouble getting about, but he wanted to be remembered to the football club and anybody who he played with.
Yeah, he used to see old snow on the first bike up there.
Yeah, and thank you.
Goroke club rooms recovering from the reunion with a few final comments before the end of the video. President of the building committee, or chairman of the building committee, Ken, have you any final thoughts?
Yes, Richie. The ladies, I know at this stage, have been highly appreciative of their new kitchen. They didn't think that they could handle crowds like they had here at the weekend, and they believe that they just got something that they never dreamed was possible. It worked well. I know the crowd that was in the main room here with our new bar and everything, you couldn't move in there. It was fantastic in there, Richie. It really was. And I believe that the building worked very successfully with a huge crowd that we had. And from now on, when we get back to normal, we'll have some real successful nights in our new club rooms.
Good, thanks, Ken. And President Jack Walter of the football club.
Yes, Richie, I'd just like to say that it's been one fantastic weekend, and we really cap it off. Both teams had wins. The seconds set up a good win, and then the seniors, they struggled for 3 quarters, but they come home in the last quarter and really played well. And I think that was very fitting for the occasion, because it was fantastic to see all these old past players back and really having a ball in there, and it was a highly successful weekend, Richie.
Right, thanks, Jack. And Chairman of the Reunion Committee, Peter Block, what are your final thoughts?
Oh, thanks, Richie. It's difficult to put into words how you feel in these reunions when you see the old fellas come back again. The looks on their faces, their ageing. As you think, you'd imagine little blokes like Jimmy Cartwright, he'd be a little withered up old man, but he's still as fit as he ever was. And some of the coaches that Perrone had, I'm quite certain they could do the job again now, they're that fit. But as the reunion chairman, I think my job probably is to thank a lot of people, and particularly Stan over here, who's going to thank a few more in the end. But Stan did a marvellous job, and he's rounding up of papers and finding addresses and all those sort of things that are very difficult to do, to run these shows. Nev over there on the camera, he's done a terrific job. Whether or not we ever get to see it and how it shows up, I don't know. But there's a lot of people wanting the tape, so I hope it all turns out well. And just another person I'd like to thank, because he's not what we'd call a real local, but John Patterson from the school has done a tremendous job for us. He's given us all the equipment and gear we want to run this show. And I think just generally all over it was a great weekend. And people have said to me, well, why wait so long? Let's have another one in 10 years. Thanks, Richie.
Thanks, Peter. And, of course, Stan, the co-commentator, your final words and thank yous?
Thanks, Richie. Well, I think, first of all, we should thank the current Goroke Football Club Committee for coming up with the idea of a reunion, and along with them, the social club, who certainly hopped in and really worked. The whole weekend on video is something that, well, 20 years ago wouldn't even been thought of, but nowadays it's something that we can do, and it's something that we can look back on for many, many years. To the people who worked in the reunion committee, everybody did little bits and pieces along the way, and really that's the way the committee should work. One